Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. How are we today, people? Thank you and welcome. I really appreciate you guys watching this with me and enjoying ourselves as always. So thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to it. Ewan Ferguson says, no way, a fight night on a day off, a lucky day. Hope all is well, Fab. Everything is well, but I had to get up at 4:15 in the morning for this fight night. So I asked them, not a lot of pressure, guys, but please put on a good show. Let me know if you can't hear me correct, like hear me properly in that. Axis says 9,000 RPM red line bush trimmer, Fab. Yes, sir. That's exactly what it is. Rob McKenzie says, greetings from the West, watching on night shift. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Juice says, fight night, baby. Jack the Ripper, I wish all the UFCs were this time Western Europe. I'm sure it ain't good for the Aussie and New Zealand brothers. No, sir. No, sir, it is not. 4 a.m., 4:15, wake up this morning, shower, have my water, my green tea, and yeah, no, I'm not expecting that to be, hopefully it won't be all the time. Waco says, what's up, Fab? When do the fights start? They're about to start, like the main card's about to start now. Ian Ma says, I can't play you and watch fights simultaneously. You can. Why wouldn't you be able to? You could listen to it on your phone and watch the fights. Super Skunk. How you doing, coach? Ready to watch Platinum Madness? Yeah, that should be an interesting one. Juice says, Ian, yeah, you should be able to do a split screen. Sasank says, greetings from Toronto, Fab. Greetings, sir. Joseph, way too early of a good morning, coach. You the best for this one. P.S. You inspired me to smoke a salmon today. Ooh. Smoking salmon, eh? Nice. Good on you, mate. I'm glad you're doing that. Sorry, Joseph, where you at? Where do you live? You told me last time. Sorry, there was a lot of people that I'm trying to remember everyone. Who you got, guys, in this card, the main event? Who you got and why? Tell me, let me know in these comments below. Tell me what you think. And what inspired these people to do it so early in the morning? Super Skunk, Fab, would you ever consider going vegan? Man, I've considered going vegan a bunch of times. I've tried to go vegetarian a bunch of times. I love meat, though. I really do love meat. I'm not going to lie. But I am conscious of how much meat I used to eat. So I am eating less meat than what I used to eat before. But going full vegan, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, consider it, yes. Do it, no. B. Johnson says Holland is way too underrated going into this fight. The problem I think with Holland is that he's more of an enigma than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, um, I think that win over Jacare really put his stocks straight through the roof. Prior to that, like I think he's had he's gone hot and cold. You know what I mean? Um, and then he lost that fight to Brunson in the way that he did. So you know, I don't know. I think he's got all the possibility in the world. You know, all the skill in the world, all the potential in the world. Will he harness that skill and that potential? Let's see. Joseph says Toronto coach 3 p.m. over here. Ooh, nice. Sasank says Holland can win this, coach. I believe he can. I do believe he can. I don't know if he will beat Vettori. I think this will say a lot about Vettori as well. Like Vettori's coming out party, I believe, was really, really, really against Hermanson because although he did a good showing against Israel, it was still relatively early in both of their careers. He may have improved significantly, even more so. You know, it's hard to gauge that. So it's going to be interesting to see that. B. Johnson says, ridiculous the way Brunson still gets crapped on. He's an incredible fighter. He's a very good fighter, very, very solid fighter around all around. Yep. Jack the Ripper, poor Uncle Fab just woke up. If one of those annoying people comes in the chat today, he'll slap him. Sometimes I do feel like slapping some people, man. I'm not going to lie. Todd Armchair says, I reckon it's because Till and Vettori were supposed to main event and they were European. Oh, is that why you're saying why the time? Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. It changed because of that. Coach, I considered going vegan when I saw documentary Seaspiracy, but I love salmon too much. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I haven't watched that. Is that a good documentary? I'm going to watch it maybe. Ian Mars says, what time you on, Fab? 8 p.m. here, perfect. It is just on 5 a.m. here. I got up at 4:15 to do this. Juice says, I like Rodriguez to win versus Perry. Yeah, possibly. I agree with you. B. Johnson, personally, I don't take anything from Vettori versus Israel fight. Nowhere near the same Israel we see today. Yeah, I don't think either one of those guys is the same guy today. You know what I mean? Like, neither one of them is the same. I think Vettori has improved. I think Israel has improved. I think that's quite a while away, that fight, you know, between those two guys. So it's hard to take a lot from that fight. Having said that, only those two guys know what they felt in there. You know what I mean? What they both saw and what they both felt, how they each of them feels. So I can't say anything on that. The Dark Cloud NC says Vettori by TKO. Possibly. We're going to see. I think you're going to see. For me personally, if Holland comes out and just does a flying knee on him or something like that, doesn't really tell me a lot. That's how Holland kind of fights, as in like he's erratic, he can blow hot and cold. I think this is going to tell us more about Vettori and see how composed he can be and how he deals with Holland. Federico Capoli, just like I said then, I think it's going to be more about Vettori to me, you know, not like because Holland can come out, he hits hard, he's like all over the place. And so I think it'll tell us more about Vettori, as in like can Vettori remain calm through that? Can he impose his game? I do think that Vettori is the more composed martial artist, the more complete martial artist, if you will. And I do think that Kevin Holland, like I said, blows hot and cold, and he can beat anyone on any day because he hits hard and he's kind of erratic all over the place, and he's well skilled too. So I think that he's very good like that. But I think that Vittori's a little bit more well, like just a little bit more put together as a fighter, I think. Ian Mars says, I'm usually the one up at 5 a.m. I feel for you, my brother. I feel for you. That's awful. I hate being up this early. B. Johnson says, curious, but I'm usually up this early. I'm usually up around this time now at 5 because of my daughter. But there's a big difference, man, between 4:15 in the morning and 5 a.m. I'll tell you that. B. Johnson says, curious, Fab, as a grappling fan yourself, do you see Bryce Mitchell ever getting to the Damian Maia level of grappling for MMA or for Jiu-Jitsu? Because in Jiu-Jitsu, like Damian Maia, that's what he did first. That's what his whole thing was. As far as, sorry, I'm just checking the fights and whatnot. That's what Damian Maia did. Like, he was one of the best jiu-jitsu guys ever. So, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys to go into UFC. I don't know that Bryce Mitchell has that kind of pedigree necessarily. How effective his jiu-jitsu can be in MMA, can he be as effective his grappling as Damian Myers is in MMA? Possibly, because it's a different style. Like, Kabib's jiu-jitsu grappling is not like Damian Myers, but and he's not Jordan Burroughs in wrestling, but in the cage he puts it all together, and he's extremely effective in he's never been out grappled in the cage, so it's very different. So can Bryce Mitchell be as effective as Damian Maia, a grappler in MMA? Possibly. Juice says, I'm vegan by diet, but I stand with hunters. I think everyone should be able to hunt for their food. Industrial farming is a real problem, in my opinion. Yeah, 100%. I do agree with you. I think that sustainable ways of collecting food are hunting. You know what I mean? Hunting is one of the most sustainable things you can do. So, yeah, generally the guys around here, they go spearfishing or they go fishing off the rocks or whatever. Or they go and catch lobsters or abalone with their hand, and like, people might look at it and go, "Oh, that's such a weird thing to do." Blah 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 blah. It's mean or it's slack, but when you're in the water and you're spearfishing, you literally like pick out the fish you want and you spear it, and that's it. You don't. People would think they go to the shops and that those fish volunteered or something to jump onto the shelves, and they didn't. They didn't. That was with commercial fishing and whatnot. So I'm not and I mean, people need to eat as well. So I'm not saying to stop it, but I'm saying, yeah, I'm all for hunting for food as well. Jack the Ripper says, off topic. It's never off topic. I watched the podcast you did with James Tahuna yesterday. I'm late, I know. What a story that guy has. Do you have any update on how he's doing? I think Jamie is doing. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but I think he's doing some coaching, and he's fucking smart. He's a real smart guy. He's wealth of knowledge. James Tahuna is. I think he's doing some coaching towards Penrith way. I think that's the last thing I'd heard, and he's doing some like real heavy lifting kind of stuff. Is super fucking strong guy. If there's one person that doesn't need to do fucking heavy lifting, it's him. But yeah, he's doing some like pretty big powerlifting stuff, like some strongman stuff as well, I think. And yeah, that's what he's doing. I think he's doing some work with kids. So he does some like mentoring with some kids and that, some one-on-one mentoring. So that's last I've heard. That was the last I've heard. I haven't really caught up with him or seen him or anything. Kind of been busy doing my own thing at the moment, but I definitely will catch up with him at some point. Schmo says, "Hey Dame, what's happening, brother?" Ian Mars says, "Main events usually start at 3 a.m. for us Brits." Oh my god, that's awful, Ian. That's awful. Juice, is a reversal worth the same as a takedown on the judges' scorecard? And should it be? Are you talking about MMA? I think it just depends what you do. Well, no, don't, like, from the judges, I don't know exactly, because you have to see what like how the judges score that themselves. But having had the rules explained to me many times live at the back by John McCarthy, it's not about you changing the fighting plane. So, for example, if you're standing up fighting and then there's a takedown and nothing's happening, like all you did was change the plane of where you're fighting from being upright to being supine, so to speak, or being prone, whichever way you want to look at it. And so that doesn't really matter, and if there's a reversal, theoretically it shouldn't matter. Having said that, the guy that's on top is dominating. So if you got the takedown and you're on top, you are dominating, and that is going to look a certain way to the judges. And so if you get a reversal right at the end, so if you sweep someone and get on top, I'm assuming that's what you mean, and it's right at the end, it's not sports jiu-jitsu, you're not going to get points for that. But if you get taken down and you hold the person down and then that person reverses you, gets on top, stays on top of the whole match, the whole rest of the round, and does some damage, and they're going to get the, that because they don't score the takedowns. It's not like it's a 10-point must system, so it's not like they score a takedown. So if you get a takedown and the person pops back up, it's not really beneficial. Thing is, though, you got to look at what else is happening in the fight. If nothing has happened in the fight, nothing, and one person gets a takedown, then that person's going to be the aggressor. That's the thing. But if you get the takedown and you land some shots, but the person sweeps you, they get on top, they land more shots than you did when you were on top, they're going to win the ground battle. Says Roy C says, "Hey Fab and chat, nice early card for UK fans tonight." Yeah, I hate it though. Ian Ma, he's quite small though. Are you talking about Mitchell? Oh, Mitchell. I thought you were talking about James Tahuna. I was like, dude, that fucking guy's huge. When you said he's quite small, I was like, how fucking big are you? James Tahuna's about as much muscle as you can pack on someone that weighs like 94, 95 kilos. There's no way. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of factors there. He might grow into his body more. He might go up a division, down a division, whatever. Not up, but probably down a division. Who knows? Ian Mars says, although he has choked out a deer. Yeah, I don't know how hard that would be. Like I could probably choke out my dog if he wasn't fighting back. If he was fighting back, I wouldn't be able to do it. Fab, have you seen the Moraes versus Johnson fight? Thoughts on it? I think I have. I would have probably seen it. I can't. Like, oh, it's going to be. There's going to be the Moraes versus Johnson fight. Is that what you're talking about? Ian Marv, this should be a war. Yes, I imagine it would be. B. Johnson, he is, but Mitchell's age combined with how much experience he has in grappling makes me think he's got mad potential. He's already a treat to watch. I agree with you, B. Johnson. I do agree with you. B. Johnson says, Fab, you have a real knack for explaining things. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Valeria, you're a champion. You're the best. If I'd have known this, Valeria, I would have got up, no problems with. If I'd have known you were going to support me in this way, I would have got up, no problems, mate. I've got it up for less money even. Thank you so much, Valeria. I really, really appreciate you for supporting us like you always do. You're the best. You're the heart and soul of the Grange. I really appreciate you. Jack the Ripper, do you believe in training the different aspects of MMA with always having an eye on MMA, or should you just box for boxing, wrestle for wrestling, and not think about MMA? If you go into a boxing gym, you're there to box, and you should just go there and box because you're going to get like the most that you can possibly get out of boxing. Like boxing has such depth and nuances to it, and it's easier to know the things and take them out for MMA than to need them and not know them. Do you know what I mean? And then you do your boxing however many times a week you and your coaches have decided that that's what you're going to do. You do your jiu-jitsu, how many times you're going to do your wrestling, how many times you're going to do. Then you have your MMA sessions where you can put it all together, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for the coaches. It's a lot easier for the athlete to come into MMA and do what you do. And there isn't a thing where, like, say for example, I go and do kickboxing. My build might be different to a short, stocky guy, and so the stuff that I might take from kickboxing and be able to use, I might be able to use a greater percentage of it than he might, and he might use more boxing stuff because he's a harder puncher, shorter guy, might be a short guy with long arms, you know what I mean? And so that guy might be able to use more boxing stuff than I would have been able to use. So it depends on that person as well. So you can't just go, oh, we're just going to learn this because that doesn't work in MMA, or this doesn't work in MMA, because it's completely different. Each person's different. Like you can't fight like Stephen Thompson, just because you go and do karate, it's not going to work out for you. There's some good karate guys that aren't going to be able to transition into MMA. So it's having that depth of that knowledge in each one of those skill sets, right? And then being able to apply it is what's the major thing there. Oh, okay. No, sorry. Sasank, Adriano Moraes versus Demetrius Johnson. It was on Wednesday. DJ was TKO'd via a knee. Yeah, I saw that fight. 100% I saw that fight. Sorry, man. I didn't know. I didn't know what you were talking about. Well, then, yeah, I saw that fight. I watched that live, dude. Moraes looked way bigger than DJ, and I think when we always talk about like the levels of fighting outside of the UFC, and people see other organizations as the B leagues, like you got to understand, dude. Like the UFC has a greater depth. I'll give them that for sure. But as someone like I've just been in the game for a long time, there's a lot of good fighters outside of the UFC too. Um, Not all of the fighters um, that are good are in the UFC, and I think that's going to be less and less the case as the competition gets bigger and the paydays get bigger in other organizations. My computer's working, but the stream is not. Is anyone else having problems with the stream? Um, yeah, I don't know what's happening here for me. Um, yeah, so we're off here. Perry versus Rodriguez. It started for me now. The stream just started, and Rodriguez is coming forward very strongly with a southpaw stance. Perry kicks to the body. Then, sorry guys, my stream just would not work. Perry's swinging for the fences, but Rodriguez looking much more composed in the southpaw stance. So it's 2:48 to go in the first round. And that's just what I've caught here. And Rodriguez seems to have caught Perry with a nice jab and a straight left down the middle. Does Rodriguez? Perry's looking a little bit off sorts today. He's looking to jab to the body. Straight left down the middle by Rodriguez. Perry's starting to take up more of the center of the octagon and starting to creep forward. Looking for a high kick. Does Perry? Looks for an outside kick. Does Perry? But Rodriguez looking much more comfortable, at least in this short amount of time that I've seen, anyways, of the fight. Oh, lands a nice left hand. Does Rodriguez down the pipe? Perry showing off a good chin. Oh, 1-2 landed by Rodriguez and an inside leg kick by Rodriguez. 1:55 to go in this first round. Perry can't keep taking those shots away. He's taking that left down the pipe is money for Rodriguez. He can't keep taking them. Inside leg kick by Rodriguez as well. Rodriguez looking very composed. Perry looks to switch his level and come over the top with a lead kind of right hook, which is not the best punches to throw like that. Goes looking for the takedown, does Perry. Rodriguez is in deep on a guillotine. He can finish his guillotine. Oh, no, Perry switched. Perry jumped onto the correct side. But Rodriguez is doing a good job of using that guillotine to try and regain his guard, and he has achieved that. He's got a butterfly in, and he's got his hooks back in. As soon as there's space there, you can get your guard back. And now all that this guillotine is doing is stopping the posture of Perry. Perry's doing a good job of passing the side control, but Rodriguez is doing a great job of keeping the guard and although he's not going to finish his guillotine from there, and he could be in danger of a Von Flue choke, but all that was doing is just holding the posture down of Perry, which is a good thing because now there's only 45 seconds to go in this round. It's a shame, man. My stream didn't work. 35 seconds to go in the first round. Perry with good shoulder position on top. He's looking to pass. He's in the half guard, but he's got the shoulder position, which is very, very important. And he's doing a fantastic job, Perry. I'm going to give Perry a lot of credit. A lot of people don't understand this. Even though a second ago he didn't have this underhook, as long as he squares him back off, so as long as he squares him towards Rodriguez's left shoulder and flattens Rodriguez out, Rodriguez can't use that underhook. So he did a very, very good job. So there's 2 seconds to go. That's the bell. But Perry showed off some good ground game there. But he ate some big left shots that I saw because I only caught the start, the halfway through that first round. Let me see. So I may miss some of you guys. Because some of the stuff people are asking. Because we got the fights on. But so the Muay Thai divisions of ONE FC are insane too. Yeah, they are, man. They're very good. The Dark Cloud NC says, I don't understand why UFC fans think the fighters in other promotions are pushovers. Like you said, there's a lot of amazing talent outside of the UFC. The reason that people think that is because the UFC is a massive propaganda machine, so it's huge. It's a like it's hard for me to do like this what I'm doing now for other promotions because I just won't get the views, man. You know what I mean? They're just not it's not promoted as big. I want to do it and I want to start doing it more, but it's hard because not as much people see it. When you say Moraes and Johnson, sorry, I didn't realize you were talking about that fight. Yeah, I watched that live. I watched the whole card fight, whole card live. We're on, guys. We're on. So Perry and Rodriguez here. Rodriguez down the middle. Rodriguez in the southpaw stance. Perry is in southpaw as well. So that's interesting. Now Perry's gone back to orthodox and Rodriguez stalking him. Rodriguez holding the center of the octagon. Looking for that 1-2, looking for a home for that 1-2. He's got a nice 1-2, does Rodriguez, and he's landed it. He has found a home against Perry. Inside leg kick by Rodriguez again. Looking with that jab. He's got a good little jab there, and he's landing that inside leg kick and that left kick to the body. Perry's taking quite a few shots here off Rodriguez. Rodriguez with some nice head movement. Nice left hand down the middle. Inside leg kick by Rodriguez. Nice. Gets his foot outside of Perry's very, very nicely, does Rodriguez, and lands that left hand. Perry with an outside leg kick. Nice work by Perry. Perry impressed me on the ground, though. I will say that. He did impress me. Nice right hand there, but then the jab again. The jab's landing money for Rodriguez. Left hand lands by Rodriguez again. Inside leg kick by Rodriguez. Nice jab down the middle by Rodriguez. Another jab landed. Rodriguez gets just inside that range and lands a shot. Just whoop, lands him. Nice work by him. Another right hand landed by Rodriguez. An outside check hook and an in straight left by Rodriguez, followed by an inside left kick. Rodriguez is picking Perry apart on the feet. Perry again with a nice clinch. Is he going to get the takedown? Good work by Perry. Rodriguez doesn't need to get up because there's 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in this second round. Perry's doing a great job. He's got one hook in. Rodriguez needs to peel Perry off the cage. So he needs to get his right shoulder onto the cage and then try and get his back onto the cage so that Perry can't take his back. So Rodriguez has managed to get it up to his feet now. Good job by Rodriguez. Nice exchange there. Again, Rodriguez getting the better of the exchange. This is when it'll start to get hard for Perry because he's taking damage on the feet and he wasn't able to hold Rodriguez down. So that would have taken quite a bit of energy out of Perry. Perry, nice shots, big power shots. But Rodriguez hit him with a beautiful left uppercut, I believe. I couldn't see it from this angle, but I do believe it was a left uppercut. Perry throwing a nice right hand down the middle, but it doesn't seem to have the pepper that he's usually known for. He's taking a lot of left hands straight to the face by Rodriguez. Rodriguez not loading up, but just landing them flush. Landing them short, sharp, and flush. I say that to a lot of people. You don't have to wind up and hit as hard as you can. You just have to land the shots. And Rodriguez is doing a very good job of that. Eventually, it starts to take its toll. Like there's only a certain amount of shots he can take to the face. Rodriguez doing a very good job, very patient, picking him apart. Lands a 1-2 again. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Inside leg kick landed. 36 strikes landed by Rodriguez to the head of Perry. Nice. Another shot landed. He's taken a lot of damage though, man. A lot. Perry by this stage. Nice. He's looking. He's still very much in the fight. Is Perry, but Rodriguez is landing a lot of shots. Another left hand landed by Rodriguez, and now Perry's face is starting to be cut. You can start to see the wear and tear of this fight on Perry's face. The bridge of his nose is cut. He's above his eyebrows cut. His face is starting to mouse up. There's 50 seconds to go. And Rodriguez is landing inside kicks and landing the shots nicely. Landed a nice little outside check hook and then a left hand by Rodriguez. So nice little outside hook, and now tripled up on the jab, landed 2 of those jabs. With 4-ounce gloves as well, that would start to really mark you up and hurt. Another left hand landed down the middle by Rodriguez. I like how he's just landing those shots, not massive wind-ups, just landing the shots, scoring and hurting Perry. Perry shoots him for a double leg. Now he's got a body lock here, but Rodriguez doing a good job of defending at the bicep there. Rodriguez's left hand on Perry's right bicep is not allowing Perry to be able to get a good grip, a good purchase on him. Now Perry has the double underhooks on Rodriguez, but Rodriguez was able to get his hips away. So that's a round there. Wow. Sorry. I'm just in the. I may have missed some people. Hassan Ahmed says, "Love the shirt, Fab. Pernell Whitaker is the best defensive boxer of all time, in my opinion. Certainly up there. He's my favorite boxer of all time." Terry Ransom says, "Can you put a timer up to help us sync the fights with your commentary?" Yes, of course, sir. It's right here. There it is there. So that's how much is left. So he probably put that up before I'd put it up. So yeah, I just got it on. Like I couldn't get the for whatever reason the thing I didn't work. So yeah, here's your timer, mate. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you so much for supporting the show as well, my friend. Ofon says Perry not looking too confident this fight. Yeah, man, he's been hit so much from the start. Like when I caught the start of the first round, halfway through the first round, and it looked like he'd taken a lot of damage by that stage already. So we're about to start again, round 3. This is the third and final round. Perry has taken a lot of damage, a lot of shots. It's not just visible damage, like those jabs and those straight lefts down the middle do take a toll, man. They do hurt your face. So 4:50 to go in this third round. Rodriguez showing off some really nice boxing here, landing some really nice jabs, doubling up on the jab, tripling up on the jab, in fact, at times. Nice uppercut landed by Rodriguez again as Perry looked for a level change and to hook over the top with the right hand. And then Rodriguez mixes it up very nicely with the inside kicks when Perry goes orthodox. Now Perry's gone to southpaw himself, but that just opens him up for the outside kick from Rodriguez. Perry answers with one of his own. Looks for a little Superman punch and followed by a right high kick from Perry, but it's not landing. It didn't really hurt Rodriguez, and Rodriguez able to stalk him and keep coming forward. He's just landing the shots. That's one of the big things you have to do. Like you have to just land the shots like he just did then. Rodriguez being very, very patient, landing those shots. Just landing them. You don't have to land them with superpower. You just have to land the shots. Now Rodriguez has got the one of his arms in there, and he's able to reverse a takedown on Perry. This is going to cost Perry a lot of energy because that he really, really squeezed that body lock, and he didn't have it. And now Rodriguez landed another left hand. Rodriguez looking very comfortable, and Perry looking the worse for wear here. And he's starting to dip his head, and Rodriguez starting to get the read on that uppercut. He's getting the read on this uppercut when Perry drops his head. We could see a finish here from Rodriguez. There's 3 minutes to go, and Rodriguez is starting to land the shots. He's just outside of his range then when he threw that combination. Nice little hook there by Rodriguez. 3 minutes to go. Lands a little pouring jab. Throws a left over the top. Lands a right left on Perry's chin. Perry showing off a great chin. Throws a right to the body. Rodriguez just keeps coming forward. Very, very good. The way he's boxing, Perry is doing a fantastic job. Lands another jab. Outside leg kick landed by Rodriguez. Another jab landed by Rodriguez. Outside leg kick of his own landed by Perry. 1-2 down the middle landed by Rodriguez. Great job of cutting off the cage. Rodriguez lands a 3-punch combination, does Rodriguez. Nice left hand down the middle. Right hand down the middle landed by Perry himself. Oh, 1-2 landed by Rodriguez. Left hand over the top answered by Perry. Perry with the right hand of his own down the middle. Now he's cut. Now he's controlling the center of the octagon. Again, they trade, but again, Rodriguez gets a better of the exchange. It lands an inside leg kick. They exchange hooks. Both boys landing. Nice left hand. 2 left hands landed by Rodriguez. Another left hand landed by Rodriguez. A small jab landed by Perry, but another left hand down the middle landed by Rodriguez. Nice stiff jab landed down the middle by Rodriguez. 76 head strikes have been landed by Rodriguez this fight. That's a lot of head strikes to land, man. To land, especially with 4-ounce gloves. Another 2 landed there. 2 left hands landed by Rodriguez. A nice jab landed by Rodriguez. 1 minute, 6 seconds to go. Perry's face is now an absolute mess. Inside leg kick landed by Rodriguez. High kick landed by Rodriguez. I really like how Rodriguez is just landing the shots, not getting overzealous, not opening himself up too much, and just landing those shots. I really, 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 really like that. I can't stress that enough. Like, he's not opening himself up. He's really landing the shots, doing a lot of damage. Another left hand landed. Perry's in a lot of trouble. There's 53 seconds to go. Rodriguez looks for a right-left combination there. Doesn't land it. Nice left hand landed again by Rodriguez. Another 1-2 landed by Rodriguez. And he goes looking for a takedown himself, which is interesting because he's doing such a great job standing up. Now, Perry's got the double underhooks and he's pushed Rodriguez up against the cage. There's 27 seconds to go. I would have liked to have seen Rodriguez keep the boxing going. 20 seconds to go. 15 seconds. Perry holding him up against the cage. Not a lot of work doing. Even if he gets a takedown here, it's not going to think. So 5 seconds to go. Rodriguez looking to finish here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Landing big shots. And he won it. Both boys hug. Good show of respect. Perry's face is a complete mess. Rodriguez completely worked him with the boxing. So I was super impressed with that boxing. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up to kind of where we were with the conversation. I don't think Perry's nose is a bridge anymore, man. He looks smashed. Yeah, he takes a lot of damage. There's basically everyone's talking about the Perry's face. So yeah, man, the damage that he takes is huge. You know what I mean? In those fights, I don't really like how much damage he takes. It's pretty bad, you know. So I don't know. Grumio says, "Hey, the man can scrap. He could do with moving his head more, or he's going to end up with a negative number of brain cells." Yeah, man, he takes a lot of damage. Doesn't like there's a massive skill gap there for him. He's super tough, but you know he can't the amount of damage he took today off Rodriguez was huge, man. Rodriguez just completely outboxed him, and that's a lot of damage. You know, a lot of scar tissue, a lot of shots to the head. You know, they don't look hard. It doesn't look like they're big shots, but bad. Ian Ma says it's 2 and 3 that it is 2 and 3 that are landing. Yeah, he's landing the combinations, man, and it's really, really busted him up. You know, so man, that was really, really nice, his boxing, the way he was landing those shots. Really, really nice. I was really impressed with the way he did it. And he just kept his composure and just kept at it, just kept putting the boxing on him. So I'm looking forward to it. Kadir Yilmaz says, "I've just joined. Was this Perry fight entertaining?" I liked watching the I think Rodriguez showed really, really nice boxing, really technical boxing. So I feel that was entertaining from that perspective. Was it a slugfest? No. So Ofon says, "Who knows? Maybe this Rodriguez guy will be known as a serious contender soon, and this loss won't look as bad." Yeah, but the problem there is though that he's still got outboxed soundly. You know what I mean? And that kind of he takes a lot of damage in those losses. Whoever he's fighting aside, you know, like Rodriguez just landed some nice combinations down the middle. They were really nice. Grumio, with the damage he's taken in his last 3 fights, I feel his chin can't hold up too much longer. Then again, I would have thought the same about Nate Diaz, and his head is still a rock. Laugh out loud. Yeah, but you can't compare. You can't compare Nate and Perry. Like the way Nate and Nick Diaz fight is completely different, and their boxing is way better than Perry's. You know, but they do take damage too. The Diaz brothers, they do. Ian Ma, no doubt Perry absorbed over 80 head punches for sure, 100%. Ofon and solid punches too, man. Ones that snap his head back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He took some big shots, man. Some big shots straight down the middle, like real snapping ones. That was like right on the chin. Like you can't take too many of them. And you see his kind of eyes like kind of like scrambled eggs sometimes when he lands the shots down the middle. Yeah, Rodriguez landed some really good shots, man. He landed some really good shots. Good on him. Yeah, Rexan says, man, it looked like Rodriguez was teleporting that left. Yeah, he was just pop with that left hand. It looked good. I really like the way he did it. Who's next? I'll tell you who is next. Right now. I'll tell you right this second. Nina Ansaroff versus Mackenzie Dern. It's going to be interesting. The Perry that I saw today, Darren Till will murder him badly. Ofon, Rodriguez looked great for real. I'm sad for Perry at the moment. I don't know what to say at this point. Yeah, man, I agree with you. Like Rodriguez looked great, but that was a bad beating for Perry. I feel bad for him. Ofon says, "Yo, Fab, appreciate these streams." No, thank you, sir. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys watching with me. Yeah, Dern is the next fight juice. So let's see what happens in this fight. Hold on, I have to open this and not spill tea everywhere. That's probably the best thing I've done so far this morning is open that tea without spilling it everywhere. I thought I was going to have to get a divorce. If I spilt this tea everywhere, my wife would probably leave me. Good chance. Like probably 40% chance she'd leave me, I'd say. Well, this women's fight, I'm looking forward to the Rose fight. This should be a good fight. Man, both these girls can fight. Joe Schmo says Perry looked soft and not himself. I don't know, man, because like the thing is, you got to think about once you start getting hit like that. Sorry, I'm just saying. Wait, I like Wei Lee. She's a good fighter, man. I really like that. Once you start getting hit like that, you won't look like yourself. Once you start getting like combinations dropped on you, the way he was getting the combinations dropped, you're not going to feel good. How can I get better at understanding the technicalities of the game? Train, man. I think training is one of the big things that you can do because you start to really understand what's going on and how hard some things are to apply and how you feel when you're gassed. And yeah, so train as much as you can, I think is a big one. Randy B, think Mike got a concussion early on, which may have made it hard to see the shots coming in the later rounds. Thoughts? Man, you're getting hit to the head, so probably did get a concussion. That's the whole point of this fight game, is to separate the other dude from their senses. So I'm not surprised that he got a concussion and how many shots he took. Yeah. Hanoi Tripper, what do you think of Dern's fake accent to reinvent her image? I don't know. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't watch the I don't really watch any of the media stuff with the fighters and all of that stuff. I just far out. Joanna got collapsed by Rose that time with that left hook that she hit her with. No, I don't know. If it works for her, great. You know what I mean? I don't know. Um, and Joe Schmo, true. Dingus Dengus says, so pumped for Yusuf versus Allen. Yusuf is so entertaining, and Allen is no joke either. Yeah, man. Look, Allen, man, this Usman versus Masvidal 2 card looks good, man. It actually looks really good. I'm actually looking forward to see, well, Jimmy Crute always I'm looking forward to watch. Come on, Jimmy. Let's go, Jimmy. But I'm looking forward to this Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall fight. If you're an old school fan, you'll know why. Um, so Christian Lawrence and Dingus Dengus Alensa both. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward. I was just about to talk about that a second ago. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that fight because I think that Allen can push Yusuf into those later rounds, and Yusuf's got stupid power, highly skilled. But if Allen can kind of push him into those later rounds, into like that third round, I think that Allen has also the skill to be able to capitalize a little bit on that. I'm not saying he'll beat him. I'm not saying that, I think I'm just saying like that's what I find interesting about that fight in particular is the fact that he has that kind of he has the skill and the ability to push it into those later rounds. Um, Ian Ma says, I love Thug Rose. Yes, she's great. I'm a big fan. Jameson, I hope Rose doesn't get into a Klingon too. That Joanna forehead thing was crazy. I don't know what that means. Corey McManus, why is it taking it so long for Allen to get a good spot on a card like today? I don't know, man. I don't know because I think just not. This is not my what I think it should be, but this is what I think the situation is. Is he's had a few decisions, a few close decisions, and that probably worked against him as far as the UFC is concerned. Just a second, guys. It was cold, people. It is cold. I had to go get some clothes. I found this in my wardrobe just then. It's a jacket I swapped with a Cuban guy at World Championships, or was it World Championship? Junior Worlds a few years ago. And that's the story of this jacket. And it's a right temperature jacket for this. I'm not super cold, but I'm cold enough. Um, let's see. So I'll go back up a little bit because I might have missed some. Um, I thought, say David Morris says, I thought Wonder Boy should have gotten the Usman fight. He's got a tough night out against Burns, and if he loses, he's never getting another title shot. I agree, yeah, I do agree with that. Um, I I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Burns has to get Wonder Boy down there. I think it's a tough one for Burns as well. That's an interesting fight. I'm really interested, but I would have liked to see I would have liked to have seen Wonderboy versus Usman. Dingus Dangus, the Usman versus George 2 card is stacked, but I'm most excited for Zhang versus Rose, and I'm excited to see if Andrade can pull the upset against Valentina. I don't see anyone beating Valentina, but whenever you say that, someone beats him. If Snoozman and Street Judas fight 100 times, Snoozman beats him 100 times. I don't agree, man. I think Masvidal has a lot of tools to beat Usman. So I'd like to see how this fight goes. I'd like to see how what adjustments Masvidal makes with his stand up, because I do think that his stand up's a lot better than Usman's. So let's see it. Says get George out of there. I want to see the Colby rematch. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I do think that there are some interesting fights there. I do think that there are some interesting fights there. Like I would have liked to have seen Colby versus Masvidal. I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen. Yeah, there's a few fights I would have liked to have seen. One, I would have preferred, me personally, not like from a fans, not from a UFC. What's going to make the most money? Me personally, Fab. I would rather have seen Wonder Boy versus Usman and Colby versus George. That's what I would have preferred to have seen. Me personally. Herbert all before says, who's pumped for a big reaction from Fab if we get a knockout? I fucking get embarrassed by that, man. I don't even like people seeing me while I'm watching the fights like that. Dingus Dangus says, let's go. I had to go get dressed, Corey McManus. How dare you? Dingus Dangus says, here's the best reactions. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I saw it, Herbert all before. Thank you for that compilation of that. I appreciate it. Is it ever cold in Oz? It depends where you live and depends what cold is. Is it cold like Canada cold, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40? No. Like Tasmania gets pretty cold in winter by any standards, but it's not minus 30 or anything like that. Melbourne's pretty cold. Melbourne gets pretty cold. Even like Sydney and that, it gets to zero. Like it doesn't 0 degrees Celsius at like late at night and everything. Here where I live probably gets to about 5-6 degrees late at night. It's not on the coast, but like now this morning, because I got up early, it's almost 6 a.m. now. It's not cold, it's not freezing or anything, but it's like I wear a little jacket or something, and some tracksuit pants and socks. Not freezing, but this room is not very warm. So it's not, yeah, it's not super cold or anything. So saying, yeah, 20 degrees does not count as cold. Yeah, 20 degrees for me, it's starting to get a bit uncomfortable. I don't like it. What do you mean, Alessandro? Where is Marvin? Colby got rocked. That was an early stoppage, and Colby would have won by decision. Yeah, I don't know if that's it. I don't agree with you. I didn't say it like that. So, yeah, I don't know if you're serious with that, but yeah, it was a close fight though. I'll give him that. If Nate beats Leon and George beats Usman, they can rematch. BMF and championship belt on the line. Doubtful it'll happen, but definitely the UFC's dream scenario. So Sank says Fab minus 40 is shorts weather. Where my wife is from, it's super cold as well, man. And they tell me the temperatures and shit. And I'm just like, it's fucking ridiculous. Minus 40 is so cold. Like you can't. I was in Sweden. With my family. And it was minus 10 or minus 8 or something. And they were showing me like the churches and that out there. And we went around and looked at different places. And, it was all really, really interesting. But everyone was showing me like, this is how nice it is and blah, 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 and this and that. And all I could think about was like the cold. My head hurt. Everything hurt me. I'm not made for the cold, I'm not really made for it. Although now the extreme heat bothers me too because I'm getting old. So I like it. Where I live is perfect. It's just like it's cold enough in winter that you have to wear a coat and you kind of rug up and you get that little break from summer and you don't get the crazy ass summer heat that you do in like Western Sydney and that on the south coast. It's not quite crazy hot like that. So it's really quite perfect for me. I like it. I think Fury beats Joshua, and yes, I would do I want to do a live stream of that as well. Yeah, I'm. I will do the live stream next week for Rob versus Gastelum, and I'll do the Jake Paul and Thingo card as well if I can, time permitting. So yeah, 100% I'll do the Joshua Fury card, and I think Fury wins that. RTX says it's always minus 30 here, and if it's minus 20, I walk around in a t-shirt. So you should man up. Fuck, man. Good on you. Good on you. Yeah, I don't handle the cold well, man. Like, it's autumn here, and the water still hasn't got it hasn't got like that cold yet. So I don't even wear a wetsuit in the water yet, and we're in autumn. Like, I still wear no wetsuit. Fuck, the other day, my board hit me in the mouth like this. My lips was out like this. My board went boom, almost knocked me out in the water. I love Perillo's accent working with Byrne. Perillo is a really good coach. I rate him. I really rate him. I'm a big fan of his. Dingus, Northern Europe, stand up. We wear shorts all year. Man, I think I was in France, in Paris, and it was -4. And I walked past a dude and he's in shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, come on, buddy. You're fucking full of shit. There's no way you're not cold. There's no way. Nina Nunes versus Mackenzie Dern. And we're off, people. Both ladies touch gloves. Both ladies in the orthodox stance. 4 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the first round. Start for me. What's wrong? It's not start. Oh, here we go. We started. So his clock's just behind. It says inside leg kick landed by Nina, but Mackenzie Dern just keeps coming forward. She lands a right hand over the top. 4 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Mackenzie Dern holding her up against the cage, interestingly, too, because I think she's holding her up with double overhooks up against the cage. Obviously, Mackenzie Dern's jiu-jitsu is a very high level. Nunes doing a good job. She's doing a very good job of landing big shot. Both girls just throwing. Man, they're throwing leather. Both girls landing big shots. Oh, Mackenzie Dern lands a big right hand, then goes looking for a double leg. She's got the single leg in deep. She's looking for this takedown. I think she's landed some good shots on Nunes. Now Nunes is on her back, and Dern is in full guard. And this is a problem, I think, because Mackenzie Dern's jiu-jitsu is very high level. And she's secured the takedown, which is what's important. She's got a great posture now. She's pushing down on Nunes. She's landing a little bit of ground and pound. Nunes, little cheeky elbow landed there. Nunes is doing a good job, though, of holding that the posture down of Mackenzie Dern. 3 minutes to go. Opens her guard now, and Mackenzie Dern's looking for an Achilles lock, I believe. Or now she's going back to passing. She's got the knee already through, so that guard's not going to close again. She's slicing that knee through. Very patient on top. She'd be very heavy on top, Mackenzie Dern as well. So she's doing a good job. She's separating that guard. She's sliced the knee through. That guard's not going to close. She's caught Nunes flat on her back as well. She's just doing a good job patiently here, holding this guard there. And she's looking to pass. And once she passes, she's passing. She's passing now. She's just going to slide her knee through now. Nunes is doing a good job of not letting this happen, but it's a slow death here with a jiu-jitsu player of this level. She's going to be looking for this Kimura, and this Kimura is going to let her either pass. She's going to either open up the guard to pass, or she's going to be able to slide her leg out. You know, she's gone now for the double underhook. She's gone for the underhook, and the shoulder pressure into the knee slice. She's gone into mount. So now what's happened is because she's put her flat on her back, that quarter guard is only working against Nunes because her hips are one way and her shoulders are the other. So now she's past the full guard, has Mackenzie Dern. She's got plenty of time to work. 1 minute and 47 seconds to go. And she's landing some good ground and pound now, is Mackenzie Dern. Really good ground and pound. Nunes is in a lot of trouble here. I don't know if Mackenzie Dern's going to have enough time to really soften her up and finish, but she is looking for this arm bar. She's in deep on this. There's plenty of time if she goes for the arm bar, and I think she'll be very comfortable in losing the position if she doesn't get it. I don't think she's worried about that. So she's going to soften her up as much as she can. There's a minute to go, and Mackenzie's just sitting on this armbar. It's in very, very deep. As you can see, she was kind of sitting on that shoulder, so it was super deep. Now she's got a minute to go to break this grip. Nunes doing everything she can to survive by holding onto her head, but it's not really going to stop her from breaking that grip. She's in very deep. I think Mackenzie Dern is using her head. She's broken the grip. And Nunes has got in her back. Nunes got in the grip back. There's 30 seconds to go. This is going to be very, very interesting. Is she going to have enough time to break this grip? Nunes is holding on for dear life. That's literally what she's doing. Very technical here. So Dern is trying to break it at the hand, and she's got it. It's done. Both girls with good show of respect. Very, 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 very good show on the ground by Mackenzie. And I like the way that she was just hitting Nunes with those big right hands as she shot the double. So that was very, very impressive by Mackenzie Dern. Very impressive. Does a Woolaroo have a chance against the Dingo in the octagon? Does the Woolaroo? Okay, so like a Wallaby, you mean, against the Dingo in an octagon? A big kangaroo, I would give the advantage to the big kangaroo. Big kangaroos kick hard or whatnot. If there's water nearby, they can drown the dingo. But in an octagon, I don't know. But a big kangaroo will kick the shit out of a dingo, though. Will kick the shit out of him. So Sank says, we don't need Botox in the winter. Your face will be stiff as plastic at -40. That's awful, dude. That's awful. That's so cold. I really felt sorry for Perry there. Holy man, that D-Rod is a killer. Yeah, man, that was a big boxed him up bad. Boxed him up really, really bad. Who have I got in this fight? In which fight, GG? Which fight are we talking about? In the one that's coming next, Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. That's going to be an interesting one, man. That's going to be a very interesting one because Sam Alvey hits super hard, but Julian Marquez is a diesel engine, man. He's a diesel engine. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. So I got Marquez in that fight. Pablo Escobar, are you doing the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren card? Yes. Yes, I am. Randy B, do girls wear cups in MMA? Asking for a friend. I don't know. I like when the fights end like this, all respect. Yeah, me too, man. Ian Mars says the wallaby's a big rabbit. Well, I don't think the thing is rabbits are rodents. Wallabies are marsupials. So, yeah, man, honestly, when you see a kangaroo, a big kangaroo, they're so like lean and muscular. So like they're so big and lean and muscular, they'll kick the shit out of you. Michael Wood, Fab's commentary on the ground was levels above the official. Well, thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I really, really, really appreciate that. Christian Lauren, did you ever see Sam Alvey's fight to get into tough? He didn't stop smiling and won by KO. No, that's insane, mate. That's insane. Yeah, I've met Sam Alvey and he's fucking crazy, dude. Super nice guy, super friendly guy. We spoke and everything, da 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 da. He's smiling the whole time. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? But he was very, very, very nice and very, very friendly. Kia ora, Jamie Colt. So Mackenzie got that. I'm looking forward to this next fight, Sam Alvey. I like Sam Alvey, and I like that Marquez guy too. B. Johnson says casual fans should watch Fab commentate to be educated on grappling. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that. I've spent a lot of my fucking time getting tapped out. So I'm well aware of how people get tapped out because I have been the joyful recipient of people tapping me. Do you think Holland should stay at middleweight or go down to welterweight? I don't know because I don't know because I don't know him. I don't know him as a person. You only know what you see on TV or whatever, and that's not really that much. Like people say, "Oh, he walks around at this weight, or he does this, or he does that." I don't know. He's a big guy though. He's not a little guy. He's like a tall, broad guy. So can he even get to welterweight in a healthy way? Because you can get to any weight. Is can you fight at that weight? And once you lost the fluid that you've lost, can you rehydrate in your brain? And like if you do, then maybe he can. If you can't, because your brain's this big, dude, it's as big as your two fists, and it sits in fluid in your head. When you're dehydrated, the fluid's gone from there as well, and your brain just rocks around inside your head. So I don't know. I don't know if he can make welterweight comfortably and fight well at that weight now today. Um, I don't know. I don't know him. Somebody asked an important question. There it is. Sasank, Fab, who do you have? Jake Paul versus a red kangaroo. In what setting? Red kangaroos are big, man. Like they're big kangaroos. They can kick the shit out of you. They can disembowel you. So probably if he corners a red kangaroo, a big giant red kangaroo out in the outback, I'm gonna go with and honestly, they haven't declawed it or anything, and the kangaroo's angry. I'm gonna go with the kangaroo. And that's especially if he cornered it. If the kangaroo can hop off and Jake Paul hits it, the kangaroo will take off. But if he's cornered it and it has to fight, like in the octagon against Jake Paul, I go with the kangaroo. He'll kick the shit out of you. Benny's going to win by verbal TKO against Jake. He's not even going to fight. He'll just verbally roast him in the ring, says Dingus Dangus. Possibly. Matthew Newman says, never managed to catch the stream because I'm in the UK, but love you, Fab. Listen to you on Spotify all the time on my walks. Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate it. It's very flattering. Christian Lawrence says, could Vettori be the Italian cousin of Dracula? Possibly. Could be. 4 times says, how accurate are the MMA fighters' build heights? They always seem wrong when they face off. I think it's pretty fucking wrong a lot of the times. Also, you got to understand, sometimes a guy might be wearing shoes, another guy might be wearing, nothing, no shoes or whatever, and that makes a big difference. Man, you can't listen or believe too much of the stuff that you watch. Like, it's great, it's entertainment and everything, but don't forget, at the end of the day, it's a show. Like that, I mean, you're talking about the heights. That's why I say to you, like, I don't even watch the thing where this fighter said that, this guy said this. Even when they talk about their own careers, like, man, you think about it even from your own self. When you meet someone, you don't go, "Hey, my name's Joshua, and you just say, "Hey, my name's Joshua. I'm an accountant." You don't say, "Hey, my name's Joshua. I'm an accountant, but I'm that piece of shit middle management that dobs on people and nobody likes. And by the way, I've always had a secret crush on my brother's wife, and lately we've been making eye contact at the dinner table." Like, that's not what you say. You just say, "My name's fucking Joshua, and I'm an accountant." And that's the same with the fighting. Like, these guys will just show you what you want them to see. So, like, from the fighters themselves to their management to the UFC to the way they market it, they'll tell you a guy's 6'1" if it seems better for them. You know what I mean? So I don't really read into that shit too much. Grumio says, "Oh no, hold on, let me go back." Okay, is it harder to practice offense in BJJ when you only practice with guys the same level as you? It depends on the level, but I think getting a good mix of guys is the best. your level, guys above you, and guys below you. So you can just practice whatever, like different things on different people. I think that's the best thing to do. Vettori versus Costa would be a spectacle. That would be an interesting fight. Yes, it would be. I think Vettori, somebody said, I think Vettori is, sorry, just one other person wrote something here. I think Vettori is too serious and he's going to try and nuke Holland. Possibly. Knowing what you do about Ruse, is that video when the man punches one when it has his dog in a headlock more impressive? It's pretty impressive, but like that kangaroo wasn't huge and he was a big guy and the kangaroo had somewhere to run. You get what I mean? It's not like you locked him up, you locked him up in a cage and they punched on inside a cage. It's not, that wasn't the case. So that's what's a little bit different. If you locked them up inside a cage and kangaroo would have to claw and kick its way out, I'd back the kangaroo against that guy as well. That guy is actually like a friend of a friend of mine. There's a guy, shout out to, if he's listening, Dog Rob. He's a guy that goes out hunting and that blah 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 blah, and he's friends with that guy. Jack the Ripper, when you do these live shows, are you wearing pants, Uncle Fab? I wouldn't. You know what? Today I have to wear pants. That's what I went out to do just a second ago because it got really cold in here. So I went and got pants. Derek Parker, Vettori will win by decision most likely. Holland is durable. He can take a beating, but Vettori is much better all around and is stronger. Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know if I think Vettori is the more complete of the two. I think he's the more weathered of the two against higher level competition. Whether or not he's physically stronger, I don't know because the builds are different. You know, not like a lot of the times the tall, rangy guys like that, they don't look strong, but they have very, very strong levers. They have very, very long levers. And that gives you a massive strength advantage that people don't really understand that. But I think Vettori is physically strong and could possibly be physically stronger than Holland. That is a possibility. I don't have a brother, Angela. No, I don't have a brother. Matthew Newman, £5. Thank you so much, sir. You're the man. Really appreciate the unbiased commentary. Pack some protein into your signature fried rice for the little one. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. £5 buys us a stack of protein. In fairness, I get a lot of the protein for free, just between you and me, Matthew, because I get it from straight out of the ocean, man. Now it's lobster season, people. It's lobster season, so I'll be using more and more lobsters in my cooking. We get them, go out there and we catch the lobsters, so it's cool. Hey, man, Matthew Newman, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. My commentary is not always unbiased, though. I will say that. My commentary does come with a little bit of bias, but in fairness, I will tell you beforehand, I will give a disclaimer and tell you that my commentary is biased. Thanks, Fab. Thank you 4 times. Christian Laurent says, Fab's. Rob's right high kick and takedowns will serve him well against Gastelum and Red Ruse. Yeah, Gastelum's a tricky one to take down. He's a tricky one to take down. There's a few things he does. He does a fat man roll really, really well. He's got a good Granby roll. Hard to take down from certain positions. But that right high kick, and he's short and stubby. So it will be that can be a hard one to get the takedown on. But that right high kick from a southpaw stance, like against the southpaw, I think Rob's going to land that on a lot. He's going to land that right kick a lot. I see Rob butchering Gastelum's lead leg a lot, like butchering it, stomping on it, kicking the body, kicking the head. I see that coming, and those attacks coming like that. Bum, 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 bum. Like, the problem is in the pocket. I think that Gastelum's got fast hands, but I don't think that Rob's going to get caught in the pocket. That's the only way that Gastelum can beat him, really, I think. And that's not me running Gastelum down. I think that Gastelum can do that if he catches him in the pocket. And he's got a very good way of sliding in and sneaking his right foot outside of your lead foot and throwing that left hand from a false distance, So you think that he's outside of your range, but then he slides in and throws that left hand. Is he going to catch Rob with that? I don't know. Is Rob going to be able to kick the shit out of his legs? I believe so. I do think that Rob's going to be able to kick Gastelum's body, head, and legs quite a bit. That I think is pretty much for sure that he's going to do that. Is Gastelum going to be able to get inside and catch him like that? That's a little bit harder. And then as Rob kicks a shit out of those legs, it becomes harder for Gastelum to be able to land those punches. How do you feel about Malkoon fighting next week? Still too green or just a bad debut? HMS Platypus. Man, you got to understand, I've coached them from the start, so I know things that I can't share here, so that's when people ask me stuff, I can't really say a lot. All I will say is this: Jacob Malkoon is very, very, very highly skilled, very, 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 very technical. He got caught. He got caught against a very, very good fighter in Phil Hawes. Technically, I think Jacob's very, very good. I can't say to you that he's too green or just a bad debut or whatever. Man, you got caught. You saw it. I saw it. He got caught against a guy that's a fucking juggernaut, and he went down. All I can tell you is that he's a very, 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 very highly skilled, very technical guy. Very hard worker, very highly skilled, very technical, and that's all I can say to you. B. Johnson says right high kick can be a very good weapon in orthodox versus southpaw matchups. Yeah, 100%, 1,000,000,000%. Right high kick, right punch, straight right down the middle, right high kick. They're all the good combinations. Plus, Kelvin isn't much of a kicker. He doesn't kick a lot, but he does kick well. I will give him that. He does kick well, and he throws you off with his kicks. Archangel says, what do you think of the trend of fighters sparring less or not at all, or not at all? Example, Max Holloway, etc. That depends on who you are, depends on how active you are, depends on how much experience you've had. If you're a young guy coming up, then you're going to have to spar or fight a lot. You know what's funny about, I watch Marquez come out and the way he dances and everything when he comes out, and he looks like a serious kind of guy, but the way he's dancing and everything and carrying on is just, it's at odds with how he looks to me, which makes me laugh. So yeah, it just depends on how experienced you are. Like someone like Holloway that's had so many fights and he's already done so many rounds of sparring, I don't think he needs to do a lot of sparring. Hanoi Tripper, does normal cardio training increase your breath hold for diving for craze? I think overall it does, but you have to be able to do it specifically. Like there's guys that I go with and they can hold their breath for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I can't even fathom that. And they've got like they big wave surf as well, and they like they get held down for 20 or 30 seconds sometimes in big waves, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a fucking massive hold down, dude. 10 seconds is a huge hold down. Like your adrenaline's through the roof and the waves holding you down. You didn't get a good breath. Like 10-second hold down's a lot. Like I don't even surf in big waves. They're not big at all by any stretch of the imagination. They're just little tumbles, and I come off my board when I wipe out and I get held down just for like a second, and you come up like scared shitless, and you're out of breath, you're gassed. So it's this more specific thing, like it does, the cardio helps, like it helps that I'm generally pretty fit, but it starts to get pretty specific pretty quickly. Angela says, hey, I'm sorry if you have already addressed this, but I Googled it and can't find any info. Do you still work with Rob? I haven't worked with Rob or any of that team for more than a year and a half now. Yeah. Derek Parker, if you have a low center of gravity, it's better for wrestling like Gastelum. It's better for wrestling in some ways, yes, 100%. It makes it easier for you to get low and get under and get the takedown, and it makes it harder for them to shoot on you and get the takedowns. But if generally those shorter, stockier guys don't have the levers and that the same way. So yeah, there is a big advantage, but then there isn't. Juice says, there it is. Where's Rob? Shirt's coming soon, says Juice. What time the Holland fight? I think the Holland fight is probably in the next half an hour, I'd say. Michael Wood, Kevin has a sneaky high kick. Kevin has some good kicks, man. You just don't see him a lot. He's obviously not built to kick. Like when you see him in real life, his body and his head are like a heavyweight's body and head, and then he's got little arms and legs, so he's not made for kicking. But yeah. Kevin has a sneaky. Hey Fab, why does the Aussie national team UFC jackets sport green and yellow? I believe it's got to do with native plants, I think. Let me look it up. I'll look it up right now. The fight's about to start, but mate, I'll leave no stone unturned. Gold conjures images of Australia's beaches, mineral wealth, grain harvests, and the fleece of Australian wool. Green evokes the forests, eucalyptus trees, and pastures of the Australian landscape. Green and gold are also the colours of Australia's national floral emblem, the golden wattle. Yeah, that's. I thought it was a golden wattle. That's the other part was not the thing. Do I think there will be any UFC shows in Oz this year? Possibly, possibly. Jay says, when is Rob coming back on the podcast, mate? Man, honestly, I think you guys need to like let it go a little bit because it's kind of been a bit about a year and a half. If he ever comes back on, he'll come back on, but it's not something that any of us are like. He's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. Like it's not thing. The Pantoma says, how to overcome fear when it comes to fight. Obviously, I'm not talking about pro fight, but just when people start with you at school or in the street. Honestly, I think you getting in as best a shape as possible as you can be and training, will give you a certain level of confidence. You'll never get over that kind of like, fuck, this situation has occurred because you're not, unless you're a sociopath or something, or you get into 50 fights a week. But if not, you're always going to have that sort of nervous or whatever. But if you're confident, the more you can raise your confidence, one, other people can feel it and they tend to leave you alone. And number two is like you're confident in yourself. And once you start training with people all the time, you see other people different. You know that they're not, it's worst thing is going to break your nose or something. And that once you've come to terms with that, it's not that big of a deal. But you got to train as much as you can. We're off. Julian Marquez runs and takes the center of the cage. And Alvey's standing very patiently in the southpaw stance. So we got an orthodox to southpaw stance. Alvey's in the southpaw stance. Pouring with a jab is Marquez. Alvey's doing a good job himself of just staying very patient, very calm. When you have a guy like Marquez is pouring out with his jabs right in front of you like this. Obviously, Sam Alvey is looking for that big left hand where he's got so much power. Marquez has taken up that space. Smart of Marquez to do that because you don't want someone like Alvey stalking you down and being able to land the shot. So you want him moving backwards. It takes a little bit of that power away from him. It's hard for him to land kicks or punches from that stance as you're moving someone back. But Marquez is very, very wary of Alvey's power. You can tell. Goes looking to the body, does Marquez. And Alvey can wrestle too. That's the thing with him. Nice right hand. The exchanges occurred there. Sam Alvey looking for that left hand down the middle. I believe nice right hand to the body by Marquez. Marquez is smart. Nice little left hand does catch Marquez by Alvey. The thing for Marquez, I believe, is getting Alvey. Nice right hand. Landed left hand. Both guys are exchanging, and they're exchanging with power, with a lot of power there in that pocket. I think Marquez has to try and get Alvey out of the first 7 or 8 minutes. And I think that diminishes quite a bit of Sam Alvey's power. And Marquez being the diesel engine that he is, I think will then win the fight. But in these exchanges like this, Alvey is ridiculously dangerous as well. He's got a lot of power. He hits very, very hard. 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go. Oh, nice right hand landed by Marquez. Nice exchange here. Alvey went looking for that left hand and then he went looking for the hook over the top. Nice exchange here by both boys. Sam Alvey swinging for the fences, trying to end the fight. 2:33 to go. Alvey goes looking to the body. Again, Alvey is in the southpaw stance and Marquez is in the orthodox. His exchanges, man, both guys swinging so hard. And it's early in the first, and both guys are big dudes swinging hard. Nice little jab landed there by Alvey as Marquez lands a big right hand on Alvey. He's landed a big shot. He's landed a good combination there. He's landed a little check hook at the end of that. Alvey's a little bit rattled, but he's got a chin. He's showing off a great chin. There's 2 minutes to go. Marquez is coming forward. He knows that he's hurt Alvey, but Alvey's a very, very dangerous man. Oh, another right hand landed by Marquez. He has Alvey very, very rattled. Left hand landed by Marquez. Right to the body by Marquez. Marquez he's doing a good job of going to the body. So going low, dropping his level, feinting, and then coming up high on Alvey. One of the good things, one of the important things when you feint, you've got to have landed shots earlier for the feints to work. Otherwise, the feints stop working. And he has achieved that with Alvey. So he has gotten Alvey's respect. But Alvey's shown off a fantastic chin. Now, both guys exchanging in the pocket. 1 minute to go. Another right to the body by Marquez. And Alvey has lost some of his pepper. He absolutely has lost some of his power there and some of his snap. Goes looking for a high kick, does Alvey. Again, another exchange. Right hand landed by Marquez. I believe if they get out of this round, Marquez is going to run away with this fight. I don't know if he's going to finish the fight, but I think he'll run away with it. He's just that kind of little engine that could. But he's a big boy, man. He's a big boy in that division. Both these guys are pretty big. Oh, 7 seconds to go. Alvey coming forward now. Big exchange there by both guys. 3 seconds to go. Dirty boxing there by both guys. Man, both these guys just going hard. Says Angela Oikul says, oh snap, laugh out loud, ignored. Did I ignore you? Sorry, if I missed you, just say it again. I just have to sometimes jump over it. How do you feel about Jacob's matchup against Al Hassan next week? Dude packs some decent power from Matthew Newman. Honestly, out of the two, Jacob's a better boxer. Jacob's got very, 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 very good hands as a boxer. He's very good technically. Al Hassan he's got sledgehammers, man. He's got sledgehammers. Jacob's got very good jiu-jitsu. I believe that if he can put Al Hassan on his back, you're going to see some really good jiu-jitsu from Jacob. Having said that, Al Hassan has really, really high-level judo. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I think if Jacob can get him outside of those 7 minutes, I think Jacob will start to pick him apart with the better boxing. But in those first 7 minutes, I think Al Hassan is going to be extremely dangerous for Jacob. That's how I feel. We are about to start. Ian Mark can hold my breath for 7.5 minutes. If you can hold your breath for 7.5 minutes, I am officially impressed. We're off, guys. 4 minutes, 51 seconds to go in the second round. This is an exciting fight, man. I'm really liking this fight. It's exciting from both of these guys in there really going for it. Oh, man, they both exchange again. Landing some big shots. Again, that right to the body, man. I love how Mark is landing that right to the body. Oh! Right hook landed flush by Alvey. Mark is showing off a good chin too. Tough dudes, these two. Right hand landed by Marquez. Clubbing left hand landed by Marquez over the top, kind of on the back of Alvey's head. Right to the body again by Marquez. I like how he's landing these. Jab to the body by Marquez. And they take their toll, man. The body shots take their toll. And he feints, nice big fake, throws a right hand but doesn't throw it, and then lands a little jab to the body. Keeps coming forward. Oh, big swing and a miss by Alvey. Right to the body does Marquez. Marquez just pressuring forward. Nice hook over the top landed by Marquez. Now they're exchanging. Another hook landed by Marquez. He's landing some ground and pound. Not ground and pound. He's landing some big shots. Now he's landing some ground and pound to Alvey's head. I don't know if Alvey's improving his position at all. Alvey keeps coming forward. The referee hasn't stopped this yet. Alvey just keeps coming. Oh, Marquez got the choke. He's got a nice choke on. He's got it in deep, and Alvey's gone out. Alvey's gone out. That was impressive by Marquez. That was pretty impressive, man. That was pretty impressive. Marquez seems to be a very, very powerful guy. Tough guy in that division, man. Tough guy. Yeah. Yeah, so in answer to your question, Matthew, I think Matthew Newman, I think that Jacob is technically he's very, very good. I think that Al Hassan is a problem for anyone, with the kind of power that he packs in those first 7 minutes or so. In my 7.5 seconds. So yep. So Matthew Newman, Marquez is a beast. And I'm just going to skip a few guys here because I want to just catch up to what we have. Derek Parker. The number one injury I'm scared of in MMA is getting a broken nose. I take a few jabs and I get a massive nosebleed. Broken noses suck. They suck, They're horrible. Derek Coburn. Does Alvey stand way more square than normal? He's got a very awkward style, and I think that's because he just wants to land those big shots. He's got a lot of power in his hands, and that's how he fights. Okay. Alvey's a unit. Is Marcus the okay? Angela. Okay, cool. Yeah, I try to come back to everyone as much as I can, Angela, but it's hard because I'm trying to answer this and watch the fights. Do you think Jake Paul would beat a prime Crocodile Dundee? No, sir, he would not. He would not. That's ridiculous. Okay, Juice. Serious question. How do you tell your balding friend to let it go and completely shave? Hashtag Manscaped. You just got to do it, man. You just got to go up to him and say, dude, let it go, man. You're going bald. It's father time beats us all. So shave that head. Sam Alvey is a warrior, but his best days are behind him now, says Christian Laurent. Possibly, possibly. Sadiq versus Allen by T. Mo Barella says, I'm so excited for this. Yes, I'm very excited for that coming up fight as well. I think they match up really well in a really interesting fashion. This was an exciting fight. This Marquez guy, he looks to be improving. He beat Phil Hawes. He beat forgot the name of the other fellow that he beat last week. No, not last week. Last couple of fights ago. Now he beat Sam Alvey. He's coming up. He's still got a lot of work to do, but he's looking good, man. This guy's looking really, really good. So he's very impressive. Chris Lauren, did you ever train with Steve Irwin? He trained MMA, amazing human being and legend. I did not, but I did a podcast with Kyle Noak, and Kyle Noak was his bodyguard, his security guard. He trained MMA with Kyle. Yeah, he was. So that if you watch that podcast with Kyle Noak, it's quite interesting. Yeah. So I like Steve Irwin as well. I used to watch him all the time. Man, this next fight's going to be really interesting. I'm very, very excited for this one. It's going to be a I don't know. I think these guys match up really well. This Julian Marquez guy, man, I think he's got a lot of potential in this division. He's a big, strong guy. He's a very good grappler as well. I like the way he grapples, and now he showed off some good fight IQ and some good heavy hands against Alvey. He's landing some big shots there. Um, did you see Alvey tap? The ref missed it. No, I didn't see Alvey tap. To be honest with you, I didn't see Alvey tap either. I didn't see him tap. No, I didn't see him tap. Even then, they just did the replay. I didn't see him tap. Juice, do you have an Aussie accent when you speak Spanish? And what country has the funniest Spanish accent? I have a very, very strong accent when I speak in Spanish. I speak fluently, but I have a strong accent. It sounds funny. It sounds like, yeah, I have a strong accent. I don't know, man, because like the Spanish language, like say the Chileans to the Uruguayans to the Argentinians, they all sound different. Peruvians, Colombians, they all sound different to me. You know, they really sound different. And then the Spaniards themselves sound different. Um, the Cubans and that, like the Caribbean Spanish is funny. Like the Dominican Republic, the Cubans and that, they speak real different. They like to me when I speak to Cuban guys or Dominicans or something like that, they speak real different, like real different. They don't pronounce their R's the same way that we do. They pronounce it kind of like an L. And for me, it like blows my mind every time I hear them speak. My cousin, I got Cuban cousins and that as well. So they sometimes speak a little bit funny. Um, and when I tell them they're speaking funny, they don't get that they're speaking funny. Um, Matthew Newman, I'm a big fan of Arnold Allen, not just because he's from my grandparents' hometown. Got good tactical grappling, especially as a British fighter. Man, yeah, that guy's good. He's very, very good. Very, very good. Where's that? Where is your like grandparents' hometown? I'm imagining Steve Irwin up there remaking uh, Crocs now. Yeah, I hope he is, man. I hope he is. Christian Lawrence, Sadiq has the tools to become champ. However, I see Allen testing him on the ground this fight and or clinch. If Allen can get Sadiq out of those again, I say first 7 or 8 minutes, where like that's where powerful strikers start to don't have the same pop in their punches, then it's going to be an interesting fight. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. I think at the start of the fight, Sadiq has a lot of advantages there, where he's just got such raw, natural power. Juan Pablo Lates, habla hombre. Y bueno, Juan, un saludo ahí a tu familia y a toda la gente que está mirando. Muchas gracias por estar acá con nosotros. Joe Schmo says he is the Miley Cyrus guy. I don't understand the reference to the Miley Cyrus thing. If you could explain, I don't. Is that his walkout song? Because I can't hear this. You know what I mean? Like I'm just watching it. I'm interested to see how Sadiq's gas tank holds up. Interesting. His low kick is his best weapon, but they are open stances. Will be interesting to see how he adapts. Um, yeah, man, like Sadiq's things, there's no secret. He's a big, powerful guy. He's going to try and land big, powerful shots. Allen is going to try and mitigate that using his grappling, using his tactics, and trying to take that fight out of those 7 or 8 minutes. That's how I see it going, and that's going to be the battle. I think after that, if he can start to work Sadiq and get him to the ground and whatnot, I think he could probably get that win. Good fighters, both good fighters. I'm really, really a fan of both, so I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the Masvidal card as well. Um, Joe Schmo says, "Hey, asked at his last fight instead of a call out after the win, he asked Miley to be his Valentine." That's funny. That is a funny guy. Now, good on him. He seems to have a good personality as well, and I think he's got his own podcast. Yeah, so interesting. Is being able to fight in both stances a significant advantage? If you are like like naturally like kind of ambidextrous and you can make it work, then yes. But if you just go into if you're good orthodox and you're not very good southpaw, and you switch to orthodox switch to southpaw just to do it, then you're giving away a big advantage as well. If you can fight well out of both stances, then yeah, it's a massive advantage. If you can be a good switch hitter, then yeah, it's going to matter a lot. If not, then it's not good to be like a little bit good at it, because when you switch, you have to adjust as well. It's not just the other person; you have to adjust. And when you adjust, if that person's smart and that person understands that you aren't that comfortable in it, they'll hit you when you switch. They'll hit you when you change stances, and you're not as good in that other stance. So if you're good in both stances, then yeah, but you're better off making sure that you're very good in one than being okay in both. Um, Joe Schmo. Oh, and she responded and followed him. Good on him. Good on him. 4 times. This guy loves Miley Cyrus and asked her out last time he won. It's his gimmick. Good on him, man. Good on him. Christian Lawrence. Steve would host the Outback version of Tough and have the Dingo and Wallaby as prevailing coaches. He could do that. He could well do that. He could well do that, sir. I like that he did that with Miley Cyrus. Jamie Colt says Dingo might take the babies. Whoa, 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 buddy. Slow down with that, mate. Slow down. Yeah, have you seen that documentary? That was crazy. I don't know. Who do you guys have in Usman versus Masvidal in this fight? I think that Masvidal can win, but I think Usman has shown that he knows how to win. You know what I mean? He's just very good, and I think he's also very like he's very into this. You know what I mean? He knows, like you don't often see people do when they get to the championship level that he's at, continue to do the right things when they become champion. Like a lot of the times, whereas you can tell he's dialed into what he wants to do. So I'm really, really impressed with him. I'm really, really impressed by his ability to do that, to stay zoned in on what he's doing. 3 belts on the line here with the Usman versus Masvidal fight. 2 women's belts on the line. Man, that's going to be a good card. Okay. Christian Laurent. Masvidal's striking will still force Usman to wrestle this time around. I believe so. Chili Minor says, "Good evening, Ciabatta thieves." Yeah, I heard about that. That's insane that he did that. That's that's this guy's very good, man. This Allen guy. I'm really looking forward to watching this. Sadiq's very good as well. Yeah, I don't know how this will go. I'm actually pretty pumped for this fight. Robbie McKenzie. Miley said she would be his Valentine if he shaved her name in his chest. Well, guys, get your Manscaped stuff. Tell him to get his Manscaped stuff and put the code FAB in. Um, Crute via KO would be huge for him. Man, they're both big, strong boys, those two, Anthony Smith and Jimmy Crute. Big, strong guys. I don't know. I think Jimmy Crute's stand up is really good. I'd probably give Anthony Smith the edge on the ground. I hope that Crute smashes him, to be honest with you, just because I like Jimmy, but not and I've met Jimmy and I know Jimmy. He's trained with us back before when I had the gym there. So yeah, I'll go for Jimmy. I like his coaches. Yeah, I like his dad. So Joe Schmo says, any news on Mark Hunt's next event? Oh, no idea. Does a collarbone break affect Till's power going forward? A break, like a clean break, like that? Nah. Like a collarbone here, like a clean break? Not really. If it was like a shoulder tear, maybe, where it damaged the brachial plexus, yes, or damage the flexibility in his rotator cuffs. But a clean break, it'll heal and it'll be fine coming forward. So I don't think that's going to be the problem. Jamie Cole, women's MMA is the best women's sport around. The top ladies are great to watch now. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you like it, that's great. Um, Matthew Newman, did he break his collarbone in training? I'm not sure, man. T. Mo Barella says Usman's ability to throw power jabs from both sides was really eye opening. It offers him so much control. Yeah, and I think Usman just knows how to win, dude. He knows how to break down the whoever he's fighting, and that is very rare in and of itself. Woodley said wrestling is 10 times harder than MMA mentally and physically, referring to, I believe, both training and the fight. Is this true? Wrestling is super hard. It is very, 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 very hard. Um, I think it's grueling, dude, because especially when you're wrestling like in college or something like that, because you're wrestling week in, week out. The same as if you rest, yeah, it's very grueling. The thing with MMA though is the shots to the head. That's and the kicks and that to the body and whatnot. But as far as like a grueling sport to do, like I can't think of too many other maybe gymnastics and wrestling. But then you have the combat aspect of wrestling, which it's just so fucking hard and it just grinds you and grinds you. Um, so in that element, yeah, it's very hard. Who's next for Ty? Isn't he fighting somebody? They're talking about him fighting. What's that guy's name? The guy that fought Sassoli. Oh, the ex-football player. They're talking about him. I think wrestling is so much harder, especially in NCAA, because you have those long seasons. Yeah, that's what makes it really, really hard. I think. Usman's fight IQ and adaptability reminds me of Cejudo, says Boriola. Yeah, I don't know if he reminds me of Cejudo per se. Maybe if you could elaborate on that. But he's definitely got very, very good adaptability and fight IQ, which makes him very, very hard to beat. And he's got the physicality to go along with it. Who would you have picked if the GSP Kabib fight ever happened? It's hard because, first, what weight are they going to fight at? That's a big one. And number two is like GSP is like 40 now. You know what I mean? And Khabib is at his very much his prime. So that's a big thing. Bam Bam, yeah. Bam Bam I see beating Greg Hardy. Me too. I think Bam Bam will beat Greg Hardy. Uh yeah. I don't see I see Bam Bam winning that fight. Big Bam Bam fan. No, I've met Bam Bam, done some work with him. I'm a big fan of him. I like his coaches, Stevie Ashby and Sully. I like them both very much. They're good guys. So all for that. I'm a big fan of them. Sadiq Yusuf is entering the octagon now. 6:45 here in Sydney, Australia, in Wollongong, actually in the New South Wales South Coast. Nice and early. Says B Johnson says, I wonder why Colby hasn't taken any fights yet. Who knows, man? He probably, in fairness to him, he probably wants the right fight. I'm just going to get some water. I'll be back. Arnold Allen is walking in. Longest active win streak in the UFC featherweight division, 9 overall. Third highest strike defense in UFC featherweight division. Third highest takedown defense among active UFC featherweights. Interesting. Every Allen fight I've seen has been really exciting. Everything, but it's the possibility of a good tier mustache that excites me the most. All right, let's see what happens now. They're getting ready to go. Sadiq Yusuf punches real hard at featherweight, man. I like that. You know what I mean? It's hard. I want to see what happens here with both big boys in the division. Both the same age. Virtually identical. Height 5'8", 5'9", 1 inch reach advantage for Sadiq Yusuf. I think obviously the big advantage I give to Sadiq is the power punching, but other than that, Randy B says, should knees to the head on a grounded opponent be legal? Why or why not? I like knee. Like I like the purity of the fight. The closer to a pure fight, the better. You know, so I prefer that, me personally. But you know, it's neither here nor there. I personally like that. I like it to be as pure as possible, and it's clear people can defend themselves or not. So he's the underdog. Arnold Allen is the underdog. Trimley St. Martin, Suffolk, England. I hope I said that correctly. I'm a fan of Arnold Allen too, though. I like both of these guys. I'm just looking to see what. Okay, we're off, people. First round about to start. We're off. This thing does not start for me. Okay, Arnold Allen is in the southpaw stance. There's 4:49 to go in the first round. Sadiq Yusuf in the orthodox stand, taking up the center of the cage. Both guys exchanging early. Sadiq Yusuf landing a nice, powerful low kick. Sadiq looking, to land that right hand. He's doing a good job of cutting it all off, but Arnold gets in deep and gets the takedown. From the body lock straight away, deep on the ground. Sadiq's got a guillotine that's not going to work, but he's using that to stop the posture and to help him get himself up. So now Sadiq needs to lean into the cage with that left shoulder, which he is doing, but he needs this leg, right? He wants to put that leg down and be able to push off it. And so Arnold's doing a good job of keeping Sadiq kind of pressed up against the cage and not letting him get up by keeping that leg down. He's looking to change as well, is Arnold. And I think he's going to look to try and get that right arm over the shoulder of Sadiq. One, it stops the guillotine, which I think Sadiq might commit to. And two, it'll change the posture. This is in deep, though. He does have a good position there on that guillotine. That was in pretty deep, man. But I think if he had put his right arm over the shoulder, over Sadiq's left shoulder, he could have got out of that guillotine and been able to put Sadiq onto his back. Easier said than done, though. But I'm just giving a thing because it is Sadiq looking very good to crowd him here and land that big right hand. Oh, that exchange in the middle. Sadiq's looking very, very, very dangerous, man. Very dangerous. Because Allen is kind of circling away, but Sadiq's doing a good job of just crowding him, and cutting off the cage and corralling him rather into that right hand. He's a little too close for my liking, is Allen, when he's not throwing fire back. And Sadiq's coming forward. He's in that range, but Allen is getting under that right hand, lands a left hand of his own on Sadiq. But Sadiq has so much power in those hands, man. It always makes me nervous when I'm watching the fight, when these guys have that much power. Goes to look for a knee down the middle, does Allen. Lands a left hand of his own again on Sadiq. Sadiq's crowding him again. He landed a left hand. Nice left hand landed by Allen. Nice left hand landed by Allen. Sadiq's in a little bit of trouble. Has Sadiq recovered? No, Sadiq's still a little bit wobbly. You got to be careful. Sadiq has a lot of power. But he landed that. He landed that very nicely, did Allen. He's landed that a couple of times on Sadiq. He goes looking big left hand, does Allen. This time he gets a takedown on Sadiq. He swung that left hand. Now, the big thing here when you're up against a cage, you want to get your head above your opponent's head. Quicker the better. That's what's going to allow you to get up. Sadiq managed to do that quicker than Arnold Allen did, and that's what allowed him to get up. Lovely left hand landed by Arnold, though. 1 minute, 36 seconds to go. I would have liked him to not swing on that big left hand and just be a little bit more patient with it, but he got the takedown, and he has managed to push Sadiq up against the cage. This will start to wear Sadiq's power out a little bit. Sadiq's doing a good job of keeping those shields up with that shin so that Arnold can't get his legs in close, can't get his hips in close to Sadiq. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. Head position now by Arnold. This is a good head position that he's got in this stance here. And this whole thing, when you're fighting hand grips, fighting to get like just this whole thing that's happening on the cage, this starts to take away from some of that power punching that Sadiq has, and that's the advantage that Sadiq has in this fight. Although he'd just been dropped himself with the left hand. Very, very interesting fight. Because it made me a little bit nervous the way that Sadiq was corralling Allen. For Allen, not, I don't have a horse in the race. But yeah, now Sadiq has been dropped with a left hand of his own, and Allen actually was quite crafty with the way he was ducking under that right hand that was coming. Now they exchange again with Allen landing a little elbow and Sadiq landing a right hand of his own in the clinch. 14 seconds to go. Allen now making Sadiq bite on some of his feints, holding his hands up nice and high to mitigate some of that power of Yusuf. Both guys exchanging. That's it. That's a round, people. Wow, what a round. Really, really impressed. Man. That was really impressive, man. What a round. I like that Sadiq also showed that he had that guillotine in. He was savvy enough to go for it. He wasn't just, I'm just trying to stay on my feet. No, he went for that guillotine. He was quite savvy with it. It forced Arnold to let it go. Having said that, I'm quite impressed with Arnold Allen. I'm quite impressed with him. He has to make Sadiq work. The more he can make him work, the better for him. But Sadiq was doing a good job of corralling him. And then how did he get caught here? Boom, he pressed his face away and he got him right on the chin, like just right on the chin. He posted on him and then he got him right on the chin. Back in the center of the cage. This time Sadiq didn't come running out, didn't take up the center of the octagon as Arnold keeps coming forward. Now Sadiq is coming forward himself, threw a right low kick, but I think it might have been partially checked as well. Sadiq doing a good job of holding the center of the octagon. Classic Southpaw to Orthodox matchup. Allen's doing now a much better job with the angles. So he was circling away and then to the right. So this is really interesting. These guys are good, man. These guys are really, really good. Right high kick by Sadiq. Sadiq looking to land some of these powerful shots. Ooh, both these guys, man. These guys throwing in that pocket. My God. Oh, Nice little uppercut, cheeky little uppercut landed there by Allen. Again, this is where it makes me nervous if I'm an Allen fan, because Sadiq is able to get nice and close and land those shots, or look to land those shots rather. But Allen is getting the better of the exchanges, actually. Ooh, lands a nice straight left down the middle on Sadiq. Sadiq's showing off a very good chin. Lands a little right hand of his own on Allen. Both guys exchanging. Goes big swing and a miss by Allen. Sadiq looking for that right hand lead. Very, very trigger happy with the right hand lead is Sadiq. Lands it. Allen looking for the left hand lead himself. Lands it, catches Sadiq's low kick. Sadiq swings and a miss, forces Allen to let go. Allen moving comfortably. And he's creating a little false distance as well, the way he crouches down. Threw a left high kick, landed a small combination on Sadiq. He's landing a little bit of ground and pound. Sadiq's looking for it. I don't know if he landed that high kick flush or not. I can't tell. I couldn't tell from this angle. He looked for a broomstick takedown there, but now they're facing each other. They're in the clinch. I think Sadiq's in a little bit of. I don't know if Sadiq got hit or not. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see if he got hit flush or not, or if it glanced, or if it caught him. I couldn't see it clearly. Unfortunately, Sadiq's landing some knees in the clinch. Sadiq's keeping his. The left high kick is very, very important. When you fight a guy that's got the power that Sadiq has in his right hand, it's very important if you can throw that left high kick to keep that right hand at home. It's nice to finish some of your combinations with that left high kick. It keeps that right hand at home, and so it doesn't throw it as much, and it also starts to land and starts to hurt the arm. Nice work. Brandon Moreno does a good job of doing that, throwing that left high kick when he fights guys with big, powerful right hands. Nice right kick landed by Yusuf in that exchange. Nice right low kick. Good knees in the clinch by Yusuf. 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. It's hard. I can't tell who I'll give this round to, because I don't know if Allen actually landed that shot there. Yusuf looking to spin off the cage, but Allen doing a good job of pressing Yusuf up against the cage. Now he's got good head position here. So he's got that. See how his head is pushing up on the chin and pushing Yusuf's head up against the cage? That's a superior head position. He's doing a good job of exploiting that. Yusuf's putting up the shields there with his shin, so it doesn't let Allen get as close as he could to him with his hips, so to kind of avoids a takedown. But what this does is it just basically wears Yusuf's arms away. So Yusuf can't use his arms as readily as he would before in his punches and whatnot. There's that nice high kick. He's got to throw that left high kick as much as he can. Yes, there it is. It keeps that right hand at home, and it starts to wear that right hand out a bit. That's it. That's a round. I don't know. Yeah, so that definitely did. That definitely did rock Sadiq. Again, so he's had Sadiq in trouble twice in this fight. You know, that's 2 rounds to none, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's 2 rounds to none, in my opinion, and he's looking very good. He's had Sadiq in trouble twice. So Matthew Newman says, great first round. I'll worry whenever someone chases a KO like that against someone as explosive Sadiq. I agree. I do agree. Terence Loring, thanks, Fab. I don't have the money to watch, so your commentary is appreciated. No, thank you, sir. Kadir Yilmaz, Sadiq carries a power till the third, always dangerous. He does, but you have to wear him out as much as possible. And it does, no matter who you are, your power diminishes as the fight continues. So he's not going to be as dangerous as he was in the first and second. Royce C says another dangerous scrap. I got Allen up 2 rounds, but Sadiq still looks dangerous. He absolutely looks dangerous. He absolutely does. He's coming forward now, trying to throw that right hand. In the clinch, Allen's looking for a takedown here. Sadiq with great takedown defense. Single leg, he's got it inside, his head on the inside. Sadiq does a great job of defending that, but Allen is able to push him up against the cage and wear him out some more. Just keep on it. He's just staying on it. Oh, Sadiq goes looking for a right high kick of his own. Sadiq coming forward. Oh, nice takedown there by Allen. And then Sadiq does a great job of jumping back up, of getting back up. He's looking to threaten with a front choke of some description here or to take the back of Allen. But I think on the ground, I do believe that Allen has the advantage. So I don't see Sadiq finishing it on the ground per se. So I see it always going to be better for Allen if the fight's on the ground, especially because Allen has already won the first 2 rounds, in my opinion. He's deep on the single leg. Sadiq looking for a cradle kind of defense here, and he's doing a good job of doing that and sprawling out. So he is defending the takedowns, is Sadiq. He's looking to lift those hands off the ground so he can knee. That was an awkward position, though. That Sadiq now pushing Allen up against the cage. Allen defending with a whizzer and with a bicep control with his left hand. He's putting up the shields himself now. That just keeps Sadiq's hips away from him. Sadiq tries for a body lock takedown there, and now like a kind of modified step back, but he's not going to get it. And the more time that's spent here, he's not going to win this fight unless he catches him on the break or something with a big right hand. He really needs to break off and land a right hand, which is very, very hard for him to do that. Allen's doing a good job of maintaining distance. The right hand down the middle by Sadiq. Huge right hand, and Allen is very, very wary of that right hand, and he's able to get out of the way. Now they're happy to exchange in the middle. Allen doing a good job of circling away. Whoa, big shots. Sadiq looking for big shots, and Allen has got an uncanny ability to duck under that right hand. Obviously, he's done this a lot. The ground seems to be very slippery too for Allen when he tries to do the double leg. He just arm dragged out of that front headlock. The ground does seem to be a little bit slippery. It's 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Really, really nice job here done so far by Arnold Allen against someone like Sadiq. Again, Sadiq holding him up against the cage. Got good head position. Landing some knees here. Maybe I'll give this third round to Sadiq at this stage, but I'd have to say the first and second go to Allen, in my opinion. 1 minute, 22 seconds to go. And this is the thing. I have the first 2 rounds to Arnold. I don't know how the judges see it. Maybe this round to Sadiq, but it's not enough to win the fight, I don't think, at this stage. Because I see all the significant damage having come from Allen in the first and second. I'll give this round to Sadiq at this stage. 47 seconds to go. Now, Allen has got him up against the cage, and he's wearing Sadiq out and running out the clock. And that's what I thought would happen. Like I said, if in those first 7 or 8 minutes, if he can ride it out, I would see that the fight would go like this. 15 seconds to go. and you got Alan holding Sadiq up against the cage, doing a fantastic job of doing that as well. Three seconds to go. 2-1. Lands a spinning elbow or a spinning back fist. That was a good fight. A really good fight. I liked it. But I got Alan winning that one. Okay. Matthew Newman says, does having better cardio really help you clear cobwebs after being rocked? Heard it mentioned a few times. Yeah, look, man, if you get rocked and you're not fit, you're fucked, because it takes one, you're fitter, your breathing system's better, everything's better, your cardiovascular system, everything's better. But two, getting rocked affects your cardio as well. Getting rocked, like if you're say your cardio's you got 100 units out of 100. Once you're rocked, you're down to 70, like that. Your ability, like your motor systems, everything, it's compromised. So you're not efficient in your movement. You don't know exactly where you're going. You're completely on autopilot. So the better your cardio is. Yeah, absolutely, the better. Guys, bear with me here because I got up at 4:00 and it's 7 a.m. now. So yeah, having good cardio absolutely helps with your recovery, with everything. Daniel Hamilton says, your jacket is nice, Cubano. Yes, it is a nice jacket. I'm not Cuban. I swapped this jacket, but it was there and I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear it. The official decision, I would imagine Alan to get it. I can't imagine a scenario where Yusuf would get this decision. Yeah, he got the decision. Archangel says, I heard they're spraying the mats with some kind of disinfectant between fights, and fighters are complaining it's making it slippery. It definitely looked slippery. Todd Umchis, is there anything to be said for excessive use of moisturizer throughout your camp, so come fight time you're like a snail and can't get penalized for greasing? People do that type of shit. Like people do stuff like they can bathe. You can bathe in like baby oil the night before or in moisturizer, and it goes into your pores. So then when you start like sweating, it just comes out of your pores, and people they can't hold you. So people do that type of shit for sure. Steve Booth. G'day, Fab, you legend. Always enjoy the fights with your commentary. Now while I drink my liter of water, all the best for you and your family, mate. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you're drinking your liter of water. Really glad to hear that. So good on you, man. Look after yourself, Steve. And thank you so much for supporting the show, man. You don't understand how much it helps. And I really appreciate all you guys supporting the show and watching and everything. So thank you so much. Corey McManus says, I love Arnold Allen. He's like a little wasp. His footwork is very good. Very, very good. Very good, man. He really surprised me the way he was getting out of that right hand, because there were times where he actually tricked me, because it was very subtle what he was doing. He was letting Sadiq come inside that space. And when Sadiq was close to that, like in that space where it was dangerous, he was within range, Sadiq would load up and throw that right hand and he'd duck under it. So it takes a lot of balls and a lot of technical ability and a lot of nous to do that. Chili Miners, I thought the canvas gets grippier when wet. It doesn't get grippier. It doesn't. It gets slippery because it's very coarse. It's a very coarse canvas. It's not like thing. And then like once it gets wet, like it just gets really smooth. It doesn't get thing. Like when you see people doing that, when they spit on the ground or they pour their water, they're taking the dust off their feet. And that's why like you see the fighters do that to get that extra grip. But if you spray the canvas or you get it all wet, no, it's slippery. There's a fight that they did, the King of the Cage, that they did outdoors, and I think it was called Wet and Wild, and they did it outdoors, and it rained, and fighters were fighting on the wet canvas. It was crazy. My gym's got the plasticky surface in its cage that's just gets slippery as fuck. Yeah, it's insane, when it gets slippery like that. It's the worst. Paul Martin, Mr. Fab, thanks for another show, sir. Love from Scotland as always. Methinks VETTORI is going to be too violent for Holland, but Holland is slick. All the best, Fab. Paul Martin, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. I love that you guys watch the show, and I love that you guys, we can chat about fights and everything. So thank you, and shout out to Scotland. I'm cold right here, right now, sitting here. So can't imagine how cold Scotland is. I've been to Ireland and that was cold enough. Randy B says a whole tub full of baby oil that can't be good for the pipes. No, it's not a whole tub full of baby oil. You can just put some baby oil in the water when you bathe, and people do that. I've never done it, but I know people do that. The moisturizer is a big one as well. So Marco Boy, hey Fab, just joined. So apologies if this question has already been asked. How do you think Vettori and Holland compare in terms of BJJ overall grappling? I think Vettori is a better wrestler in that element of grappling. And so you saw that Brunson was able to take um, Holland down and control him on top. So I think Vettori is well capable of doing that as well. He doesn't have the same wrestling pedigree that Brunson has, but you saw it against Hermanson. It's very, very good. You know, Hermanson's a very good wrestler himself, very good grappler, and Vettori got the better of him. And he's smart. He comes from a smart camp. They're very good. The way that he closed down Hermanson does an elevation from an overhook, which is not what everyone does. So when Hermanson gets this, he gets your left underhook and he gets nice and deep and he elevates you. And when he elevates you, he goes under your leg on the far side to get the heel hook. And Vettori did a great job of keeping his knees together in the half guard and not allowing for that to occur by also cross-facing him so that he couldn't get underneath him. So he'd studied it. That didn't happen by accident. He studied it. He saw it. And then he went, all right, I'm shutting that down. And he did a great job of doing that. He did a fantastic job. So I think he can get on top, and I think he can create a lot of problems for Kevin Holland on top. If they were to roll just jiu-jitsu, maybe Kevin Holland might be a better grappler. I don't know. He's got long legs. You know, he knows how to use his guard per se in jiu-jitsu per se, rather, I should say. But that's a big difference in MMA. If you get held down, you lose the round. Like the other guy doesn't have to grapple with you. That's a difference. Hanoi Tripper, do you reckon Paddy Pimblett can be the next big thing in MMA, or will he get sorted out by the UFC roster? I don't know. I have no idea. Pablo Escobar, I'm in Turkey from Canada and can't watch the fights. I went through a fight companion yesterday and it was 5 drunk guys babbling. This fight companion breakdown is by far the best one I came across. Pablo Escobar, thank you so much, man. I am very, very flattered for you to say that, and I really appreciate you doing that, and I really appreciate you watching. So thank you so much, my friend. Pablo Escobar, I should have been here yesterday. I'm glad that you are watching, and if you haven't, guys, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get the notifications. Joe Schmo, I love this. You get to come back between rounds to chat and read comments. It's the best. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I love doing this with you guys. We've got a good little community here. It is growing, so that's a good thing, but it can be a bad thing because as we grow, sometimes we get a dickhead factor in and we have to ban people, but block and ban people. But thus far, we're not doing too bad. It's going pretty well. Kevin Holland is walking out now. He's doing the walkout, and I'm really excited to see this because this will impact the middleweight division. I think the middleweight division has kind of gotten thin over the last 2 or 3 years. Like there was a time when that division had Rockhold, Romero, Cannonier, Costa, Rob, Jacare, I don't know if I said his name, Rockhold, Weidman, Brunson, Uriah Hall, and they were all younger and they were all in their thing. Now everyone's like Romero's been cut, Weidman is getting a little bit older, Rockhold's getting a little bit older. Obviously, Rob and Israel are at their peak and they're, I think, quite separated from everybody else. But I haven't seen, like, at this stage, I'd like to see some more new blood in there. Not to say that the guys in there aren't good now. They very much are really, really good fighters. But, yeah, GSP, Bisping, they were all in there in that middleweight division. So that was a pretty stacked division at one stage. Now I think it's gotten a little bit different, I think, and Gastelum as well. Hanoi Tripper, be good to see the Adesanya rematch just for the pre-fight stare down of Vettori. Vettori stare down. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen intense stare downs like Vanderlei Silva, for instance, But that stare down was something I've never seen before. Sasank says, Izzy and Rob are light years away from the remainder of the roster. I think so. Like, I don't know if they're light years away, but at the moment, I think they've pulled away from the rest of the roster. And there just doesn't seem to be any young guys coming through that are going to be able to really challenge them at the top there. Having said that, Gastelum's no joke next week. He's not like it's just going to be a walk in the park. Main event should be great. Holland is so slick on the feet, and Vettori has a lot of power, but he's a little bit stiff in the upper body. I'm hyped, says Maxi VR. Yeah, man, I don't know. You know, Vettori is like, I don't know. Vettori is like an interesting character. He's grown on me. He has really grown on me. He's such a character, and he doesn't mean to be. That's what I like the most about him. He doesn't even mean to be a character. Like Holland is a character, but he puts it on. He's trying to be a character. But this guy's like funny in a way that he doesn't even mean to be funny. Like I like listening to his interviews and that. He's a funny guy. And doesn't mean to be. Yeah, Chili Miners. He is like a naturally angry guy. I don't, yeah. But he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be like a bad dude. He just seems to be angry at the world sometimes. But he seems like a good guy too. This is going to be an interesting one, man. Holland was the serious ones in the face-offs, and Vettori was a goofball. Just saying, yeah, I do agree with you. He just seems like a funny guy. I have no idea who will win, but it's hard seeing this fight go the distance, says Archangel. I don't know. I don't know. Chili Miners, he's like when you step on a dog and just see red for a second. Corey McManus, why do they keep pushing Angry Marvin for the next title shot? I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Steve Booth, I feel like they threw Holland to the wolves after going 5 rounds of wrestling super recently. Big test for him. Well, I think he threw himself to the wolves, if anything, Steve, because he took the fight. Like he didn't have to take this fight. I think it's a big opportunity for Kevin Holland, especially after the last performance. Like, you know, lucky that I think for him that he stood up and took this fight, because after that loss to Brunson, he could have been pushed further and further down the ladder. But this time he stood up and he took it. And so he with a win here, who knows what he does. Thoughts on the new Venom fight gear? I don't really know. I don't know. Peter Bergman says, do you think having a chip on your shoulder can lead to success, or is there just a better alternative in just working hard? Well, in fairness, having a chip on your shoulder is what can make you work hard. Just having a chip on your shoulder and not working hard is a recipe for destruction, nothing good. But if you have a chip on your shoulder, man, and I think things, life happens in chapters, seasons in your life. And I think there are seasons in your life where having a chip on your shoulder can help you, as long as you don't let it become insidious. It can help you. So if you work hard, you got a chip on your shoulder, the chip on the shoulder makes you work hard, then you're going to see success. But at some point, you have to let that go as well. Bruce Buffer. Vettori. Man, I love this guy. I really, really started to like him. So Sank says, if Holland wins, what do they do with Vettori? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. And what do they do with Holland? What do they do with Holland? Because he beats Vettori, but he lost to Brunson. Vegas odds is a minus 335 favorite is Vettori. Let's see him. He's an intense character. But see, no disrespect to either one of these guys. I don't see either one of these guys beating Rob or Israel. That's the truth of the matter. I just don't see it. I don't see the fluidity in their movement, the power in their strikes, and their overall game. I see Vettori being close, but not having it quite the fluidity in his movement to really outstrike him at this stage in their career. Beetlejuice says, "Hey Playboy, how's the gong treating you?" Really well, sir. Really well. The camera's starting to play up, and we're off, people. Vettori's in the southpaw stance. Holland goes looking for an outside leg kick, hits him a couple of times with the outside leg kick. This is, to me, this is a real test for Vettori. I'm really interested to see how Vettori looks in this, because Holland, like I said, is a jack in the box. He can win or he can lose. It doesn't matter. I don't know, but Vettori, how he stays composed in this is going to tell me where he's at. Oh, low kick, front low kick landed by Holland. Oh, right in the nuts. Speaking of nuts, go to Manscaped and use the code FAB to get 20% off any Manscaped products. Use, if I can find the code. Yes. Go to Manscaped, guys, speaking of nuts, and use that code and get 20% off free shipping with the code FAB. Guys, man, he's got 5 minutes. That would have hurt, man. On so long as well. He's got big feet, long legs. It kicked him fair in the nuts. Okay, we're about to start again. We are off. 4:30 to go in the first round. Ooh, nice oblique kick landed by Holland. The way Holland's fighting today is how he should have fought Brunson. Ooh, the 1-2, but Vettori did a good job sliding out of the way there. He's landing those kicks, though, is Holland. Ooh, big exchange. Holland lands a right hand. Holland's fighting really well this fight. That's what I mean. He's a fucking enigma. If he had fought like this, the last fight would have been interesting. Oh, there's exchanges there. Vettori gets his hands on Holland. He's got a big clinch here. Holland's doing a good job of defending the takedown. Landing the slaps to the ears of Vettori. Holland's looking much better than he did against Brunson. Oh, he's throwing that right hand down the middle. Vettori's rushing through a little bit, but Vettori's doing a good job of sliding in and out. That right hand, that right kick to the head by Holland is doing a great job because it keeps Vettori's left hand at home. The other thing with Vettori, I don't think he has quite the pop in that left hand that I'd like him to have, and that's just me being thing. Double underhooks here by Vettori, nice and deep, but Holland being very tall, it's hard for you to use those double underhooks as effectively on him. Goes looking for that body lock takedown, doesn't get it, does Vettori. Holland doing a good job of defending the takedowns in this fight. He's like a completely different person to when he fought Brunson already. In deep on the double leg, I don't know if he's got his hands linked. There's a gap between the cage and the fence. All right, there's this gap between the cage and the fence, and the guys can put their foot in it, which is what Holland is doing right now to stop the takedown. It makes it very hard to get the takedown there. And breaks off, does Vettori. Holland with the, that right high kick again. Oh, these guys exchanging. Left hand landed by Vettori. These guys are exchanging, man. These guys are exchanging. There was a low kick thrown a second ago by Holland, which Vettori checked. I don't know what damage it did, or if it did, or if it didn't. We're going to see if Holland's going to continue to throw that low kick. Again, this with the clinch here, and Vettori has a nice high underhook, which is what you need to do. High underhooks run the show on the cage. Now he's got a body lock, goes looking for a step back, does Vettori, and gets it. I feel that he landed on his knees. If Holland had been a little bit more desperate in defending that takedown, it would have been harder for Vettori. Oh! Big up kicks by Holland. Well done by Holland. As soon as Vettori got up, Holland started landing those up kicks with those long legs and created all sorts of problems. And he tried to scoot back and get up, but Vettori did a good job of holding him down. I think he's going to just hold him down for the rest of this round. That's what he's going to try and do, I believe. Holland has his legs. He's not really now with his guard closed. This is a big mistake, in my opinion. A big mistake, especially because he's not. What happened in the Jacare fight? He postured up. Jacare postured up to pass the guard, and these guys are not posturing up. They saw what he's going to do if they posture up, and so they're just happy to just stay in this position, head down, down low like this. So he's not going to land those types of shots there. Oh, and he swept him. Good job. And he got up. But the closed guard like that is not a good look. That exchange, ooh. $20 seconds to go. Looking for that right hand. Vettori's doing a really good job of sliding out of the way of that right hand. I'm really impressed by his ability to do that. Vettori with the left hand down the middle. 2 seconds to go. That's the round, people. That's a round. I'll give that round to Vettori. Yeah, I like it, man. I like the way that he throws that. I like the kicks that Holland's throwing. That right high kick. That takes a lot of zap out of Vettori's arms in a 5-round fight. But Vettori's very savvy to it. That right hand down the middle that he's throwing, I would have thought he'd catch Vettori more because Vettori's getting in, throwing his combination. But then Vettori's got a really, really good eye for sliding out of the way of that damage. Like he's not sitting there taking the right hand down the middle. So I'm really impressed by his ability to do that, to slide out of the way of that. That's not easy to do the way what he's doing with someone with that kind of reach that Holland has. Yeah, I think so as well, Matthew Newman. I think it's going to be very hard for Vettori to keep fighting at that pace. Having said that, I don't know what toll that's going to take on Holland as well. Like let's see. And again, I think this fight's telling us more about Vettori than Holland. Because Holland, I think he's got all the ability to do these things. It's just he runs hot and cold. So I think he can beat Vettori. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But how they beat, what happens in this fight is going to tell us more about each fighter. These exchanges are pretty crazy, man. Oh, right hand down the middle landed by Holland. Then he goes looking for the high kick, then a front kick down the middle. Oh, a left hand on the exchange by Vettori. Good job. He's looking for that double leg. He's spending a lot of energy getting that double leg, but he did get it. Holland's looking for a guillotine choke. He having the long arms and the levers that he does, he can work that guillotine in. But Vettori's already dropped the correct shoulder down, so it's not going to get it. This here, when he closes the guard and he's here like this, it's not good, man. It's not good because he's Vettori's able to just stay there, and Vettori's not going to posture up out of the way to let him hit him, and so he's not opening his guard to use it to move his hips to do anything. This is not a good thing for Holland. It's something that he's going to have to learn to use his guard, I think, a little bit better because he's got a very good guard, but you can't have a closed guard and stay in closed guard like that. It's just no good. It's not a jiu-jitsu match. That's the problem. And you only have 5-minute rounds, so you don't have the amount of time that you generally would have in a 20-minute submission grappling match. So when you close the guards and you stay there, the judges are giving this round to Vettori. And it's letting Vettori get the superior position and rest. So Vettori is not like he worked, because Vettori worked really hard for that takedown. And I think it was Matthew Newman in the comments someone in the comments said, can Vettori keep that pace up? He can't keep that pace up if he's not given any time to rest after the takedowns. But he has been given the time to rest. Once you take someone down and you hold them down like that, you have the time to rest. Somebody just said then they're giving this round 10-9 to Holland, and I don't agree with that. I don't see how you could be giving this round to Holland. Yeah, I agree. Butterflies, or he's got to do anything but close guard like that. Now his guard's open, but I think it's a case of a little bit like he's not really using his guard and that kind of length, because Vettori now has him stacked up against the cage, and Vettori's hips are over his hips, so it mitigates a lot of his ability to use the guard. There's 2 minutes to go. Whilst Vettori's not landing, see how the guards are, see how the hips are above the Holland's hips. Holland can't land those shots. And whilst Vettori's not doing a ton of damage, and he's not landing like a ton of shots on Holland, there's still no way the refs can give this round to Holland. The judges can give this round to Holland, rather. Very, very good job now by Vettori. Very good job. I just don't see what I see from this with Vettori. I can't see Vettori doing this to Rob or Israel for 5 rounds. I just can't see it. And I can't see him striking with them like that for 5 rounds. But that's me. His great job there. Again, dragged him back down to the floor. Vettori did. Landed in smash pass. Then Holland again retained the guard. Went to full guard. He's not using his guard to put up shields or put his feet on the hips and allow himself to get back to feet and make Vettori really work. When Vettori gets to this position, he can rest. This is, and then he can come out in the 3rd round and do it again. 20 seconds to go. Vettori landing some good ground and pound on Holland. Holland gets himself up, and there's 10 seconds to go. And Vettori can just ride this out. He doesn't need to get an extra takedown. Doesn't need to do anything. There's 3, 2, 1. That's a round. So Sank says, Fab, that was a scrap. Vettori seems to thrive in tired phone booth style fights. Matthew Newman, would not be surprised if this round is scored as a 10-8. Holland needs to use his length in the guard to push Vettori away, says Matthew Newman. I agree with you, Matthew. He has to use his levers. He has to use, like anyone else, if you're going to close your guard, right, you've got to hold the posture in. You've got to hold the guy's posture, try an elbow, open your guard and kick him off and get up. Or if you're going to close your guard and you've got a really, really good guard, you're going to have to open it anyways to look for a submission. So, he's kind of stuck in this situation where he's closed the guard and not doing anything. So I don't know. The first round, I don't know. That could have maybe gone either way, but the second round was definitely Vettori's. And like you said, maybe somebody might have even scored it at 10-8. I don't know. So going into the 3rd round now, we have, Ewan Ferguson's a big fan of Vettori. Honestly, he seems like just such a solid foundational fighter who's built like a rock golem. I agree with you. Something's happened here with Kevin Holland's eye. He's saying he can see, he's got no problems, and we're about to start again. It's almost 1 minute 30 in between rounds too, and that only helps Vettori. So we're off again. That was a long time between rounds, man. 4:52 to go in this 3rd round. Vettori doing a good job. Goes for the double leg again. There is no defense whatsoever from Holland on these takedowns. He looks like he could have an arming guillotine there, but he's not going to get Vettori with that. I'd be very, very surprised. Plus the body lock's already there, and Vettori's already putting pressure down on the shoulder. Now he has the shoulder pressure down, and he's in half guard. There's no guillotine here. There's no guillotine here at all. It's got a very, very good shoulder pressure, does Vettori. Holland went looking for the sweep again, didn't get it. Vettori doing a good job on top, looking to pass. Great job, great job. In smash pass now. Now he's got him full mount. Very good job by Vettori. Full mount, double underhooks. He can hold Vettori here for a while, man. Looking for a head arm choke is Vettori. He's got this in pretty deep. He can't roll the same way he rolled out against Brunson. He can't because the cage is on this side. So it's going to be very hard. And Vettori is doing a good job of just holding it there. This is in deep. This is in deep. This is in deep. He's answering the phone, so he's still been able to defend it while that arm's there. But Vettori's smart, man. He's not blowing his arms out. He's holding him here. This is a superior position. Holland wants to good. He did a good job of holding out, keeping the phone, like staying on the phone so that he can't get it in deep. But it's all completely Vettori at the moment. Juice says if your only objective is to avoid a takedown, how do you do it? Do you just fight 100% defensively? No, you like. I'll answer that in between rounds. Sorry. So now he's looking for a Kimura, but he's not going to get it. He's not going to get the Kimura, and he didn't get it. His eyes hurt. Vettori keeps looking for that check hook over the top to hit him in the eye. He can't see Holland. Holland goes looking for a little low kick. Can't get it. Nice shots by Vettori. Now Vettori's deep on that deep on this double leg. And Holland again, he's got the wrist lock on the far side. Really, really beating Holland down is Vettori. Vettori's in very, very deep on this. He's trying to crossface is Holland, and he was successful in stopping the takedown. So that's a good job. But he is getting hit on his right eye whenever they break off. Vettori hits him with a lead hook. Double underhooks has Vettori. Just inside this clinch now. Vettori doesn't have a huge amount of power in his shots, though. Like, he hits hard enough, but not hard. Doesn't have that bang shot. Interesting now because Vettori has slowed down a little bit. Big left hand landed by Vettori. Vettori holding Holland up against the cage. So Vettori's holding Holland up against the cage. Holland's doing a good job, but he's not breaking off the cage. And I do believe that Vettori has slowed down a tad. He has slowed down a little bit. Oh, big combination landed by Holland. Now Holland's talking to him. They're both exchanging the phone booth in there. Vettori's a little bit hurt. Vettori's hurt. There's 2 seconds to go. He landed a 1-2, did Holland. And he's talking to Vettori. Okay, so the question. So somebody asked me here. If your only objective is to avoid a takedown, how do you do it? Do you just fight 100% defensively? No, you don't have to. But there's a lot of things you can do with your footwork. There's a lot of things you can do with your footwork when you get taken down. The moment you've been taken down, before the person can solidify their position on top of you, you need to pop up. You need to straight away, like as soon as you get taken down, the moment the floor is lava, as soon as you hit the ground, pop, you're up. You got to straight away be back up. So that person has to keep fighting to get you down. So there's a lot of things you do with your footwork, and once you get taken down, that you have to get up, bang, straight away. So yeah, Archangel says, Tom, a big uppercut and knees when they shoot for a takedown like Derek Lewis. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do as far as that's concerned. Chili Miner says, yeah, you can't just, yeah, long story short, you can't just capitulate and just try and, stop the takedown. It's counterproductive. Do you think Holland has had too quick of a turnaround to have a chance to correct any grappling inadequacies he may have? You and Ferguson. I don't know. I don't want to say something like that because I don't know. I don't know what his corner does. I don't know what they do. So I don't even want to say that he has inadequacies, like, because I'm sure he knows how to defend the takedowns and do other things, but he doesn't do it. Guys, they're exchanging like crazy here. Sorry, man. I'll have to get back to you in a second. 441. These guys are exchanging. Holland is opening up now. He's opening up, and I do think Vettori has slowed down a little bit. Yeah, I've got Vettori winning all 3 rounds so far. He's gone in deep on the takedown. Holland is defending it a little bit. He's pushing the head down. You'd want him to do the butt scoop there as he's pushing the head down, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it then, and Vettori was able to get the takedown. And this is the problem for Holland. I don't think he commits enough to the takedown defense there. And when he gets taken down, he capitulates and lets the takedown, lets it finish and lets the person secure the position on top. You cannot do that. As soon as you hit the ground, you have to be up. You have to be up and defending. It is not easy to hold someone down. Once you do a double leg and you land, if the person scrambles and gets straight up to their feet, it's not easy to hold them down. Like the way Holland fights, he's fighting like there is no time limit, like there's no time limit whatsoever, and he can cook them for 2 hours, and that isn't the case. So Vettori's hips are above Holland's hips there. That's what he wants. Holland, man, there's so many times that there's a gap and Holland regains full guard. I don't think that that's a smart thing to be doing. Especially because, like I was saying, in the third, I felt that Vettori was slowing down and Holland was doing a good job in the stand-up. And then he allows Vettori to sit on top, and land shots and just win the grind. Now he's in a turtle position with a far wrist lock by wrist control by Vettori. Now he's up to his feet. Good job of getting up to his feet. There's 2:45 to go. Another good. Vettori's in deep on this double leg. Gets a takedown again. Is in full mount now. Again, looking for this head arm choke. Vettori's doing a good job, man. Really good job. Again, the head arm choke is in deep. He's on the phone. Is Holland, and that kind of mitigates the head arm choke. But I wouldn't hang out there too long or too comfortably because you can still get choked from there. It makes it a lot harder, but it's still not fun or pleasant. It's not just Rob Kadir. It's not just Rob that does that takedown defense. It's like any guy that understands what they're doing. As soon as you hit the ground, you got to get up, and that's something you drill. Like you have to drill it at training. Like we drill that all the time. Like as soon as you hit the ground, boom, you pop up, and the person has to hold you. That's so important, man. It's so important. As soon as you stop, the person then can hold you, and even if they hold you for a minute and you get up or whatever happens, they've secured their takedown, they've secured their position, they were able to rest for a little bit. What's happening now, tires Holland out. Like the guy passing your guard and you having to regain your guard and then him passing your guard again, it's extremely tiring. Extremely, extremely tiring. It's not pleasant. And the thing that kills me is that Holland is obviously very fit, very talented, physically strong, tall, long, all of that stuff. And he just closes his guard when he gets on the ground. If he used his, and he's got good stand up too. So he's looking for the up kicks. But Vettori's smart. He's coming back in. Oh, man, it's so frustrating watching Holland fight, man. 16 seconds to go. The thing is with this performance, I still, even though Vettori's doing a good job, he's done enough to win, but I don't see how he could fight Rob or Adesanya. Like, I don't see this win as a, you know, Brunson just did the same thing to Holland, you know, and there's still a round to go. I mean, Holland could win, but Brunson just did exactly the same thing Vettori just did. And I don't see Vettori having the power in his hands to really threaten Rob or Adesanya at the moment, you know. And I don't see him being able to take him down and hold him down like for a great length of time, like he's doing to Holland. And I don't even think he's a better grappler than Rob. But yeah, that's going to be hard, man. I don't know. This fight didn't really tell us a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really tell us a lot at this stage. I mean, who knows? Maybe he gets hit with a flying knee and Holland wins. But even then, that doesn't tell us anything. And we're off fifth round. Again, so Holland, he's got so much potential. And he looks good. A lot of the times, he looks good. Oh, big right hand landed by Holland. Again, in a big exchange. I think he's hurt Marvin, but oh my God, oh, he's got him. And Marvin gets a takedown. Well done for Vettori. Well done. Because Holland had him hurt. He did hurt him. And Vettori shot the takedown and took him down. I also don't understand how living in the US, you don't wrestle. Like, if you're fighting MMA, you know what I mean? Like, you have to wrestle, dude. You have to wrestle. And I'm not saying that he doesn't wrestle, but I don't understand how he doesn't defend the takedowns and he closes his guard. And now he's got a closed guard with his head pressed up against the cage. And he'll close his guard again at some point here. And I don't understand that. Like, now, when your head gets parallel to the cage and your body's perpendicular, that's one of the worst positions you can be in against the cage. You know, there's 3:36 to go. And he does it every single time because he does land some good shots on his feet. He's very talented. He's a good grappler. The way that he is able to keep people in his guard is good, but he's like using things at the wrong time. Man, it's so Vittoria's in deep on this double leg again. They're back to their feet, and he gets it again. He gets the takedown again, and again, Holland just closes the guard. Now he's open his guard, but man, Holland has one more performance like this or another loss, and he could get cut. And he's a guy with so much potential. You know, Vittori passing a half guard, and there's a lot of things that he does which are kind of weird as well. Like the way he so quickly gives up that hook, like that underhook. Vittori has, like, you'd want to defend that, and he is a good grappler. He knows what he's doing, but I don't understand. Like, here he's in half guard. He had that underhook a second ago, and he didn't work to get up. He's got his guard passed, full mount. 1 minute 51 seconds to go. Like that's yeah. In very deep. It's full mount, and Vittori is just holding him down. You know what I mean? Like it's bizarre to me. It is really, really bizarre. Good job there, but then he gets the double again, does Vittori. He's in deep on this double leg again. 1 minute to go. I'm flabbergasted. Honestly, I'm telling you, I'm flabbergasted by it. And nothing against Vittori's wrestling, which is good, and in fact, I think it's underrated. But it's not like you said to me, dude. He's fighting Daniel Cormier. What do you think is going to happen? The guy can out. Nah, like no offense, but Vittori's not Daniel Cormier. He's not that. He's not Yoel Romero. He's not, he's not that level of wrestler that should be able to take you down 20 times or whatever he did, over and over and over again. Um, and credit to Vettori, man. He is good, man. I think he's a very good fighter. I just think he's a few steps below the top guys. And the way that Holland is getting out wrestled like this is pretty insane. And I think fundamentally, he lacks a lot of good fundamentals. Holland does. That's a fight. That was it. That was a fight. I'm again. He got me again. I watched his fight again. Broadcast announced Vettori landed 11 takedowns in this fight, record in the division. Dude, in a 5-round fight, that means you got average out more than 2 takedowns a fight, 2 takedowns a round. Like it's bizarre. It's a bizarre statistic. You know what I mean? And the way he landed them too, they weren't even like mat returns. You get what I mean? They weren't mat returns that you could go, oh, like there was something where he'd break off and then shoot again, or get hurt and shoot and take him down again. It was really weird. Royce C says, at least this fight has shown Vettori is smart and capable enough to follow the path laid out by Brunson. Not a title shot worthy performance for me, though. I kind of agree with you, Royce C. I kind of agree with you. Mr. Bubs, Holland is very snappy, even in championship rounds, but he hasn't had to do any work all these rounds. Solid performance by Vettori. I have to say, I agree with you as well. Matthew Newman, not sure that Holland is a great grappler. I think he relies on his athleticism, but he's missing some of the instincts you'd get with more time on the mats. No, I agree with you as well. I agree with you as well. He's got a lot of attributes, I think, that allow him to exploit his, his jiu-jitsu that he does do. But it surprises me, like that he doesn't put shields up. He doesn't frame as much as you'd think someone of that size, of that length would do, and try and get up more. I just don't understand it. Chili Miners. I think he might not be that strong, to be honest. Could do with putting a little weight on. He's light for middleweight, isn't he? He might be, but he's not strong, dude. He's not. You can see him. You can just see his frame. He's got big, broad shoulders. He's not a weak dude. He wouldn't be at that division there if he was weak. But the way that he's using his abilities is weird to me. You know what I mean? Um, Look, I don't even want to say Ren Witchell says Holland needs some time at ATT. I don't think he does. Like, I don't know why he'd have to go to ATT. There's heaps of places you can go that, as a matter of fact, there's been a lot of people that are champions that aren't from ATT. I just don't understand what it is that he's doing, because I don't even want to run his coaches down and say he needs to get this person to coach him or do that, because his coaches would probably are telling him the right things. You know what I mean? It's not like he doesn't know, and it's not like his coaches wouldn't know. Anyone can see it, if that makes sense. Um, Francois Lee says, "How bad is this making Travis Luter look?" Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think it's like there's nothing that coach can do. Like he's not doing with that. You know what I mean? Dingus Dangus says Vettori did well, but he's not getting past Rob or Izzy. Also, Holland needs to take a hard look at this and the Brunson fight and fix his game. I agree. I agree with all of that. Courier, this felt like a prospect fight without Till. Both Vettori and Holland kind of seem to have two big holes in their game. Yeah, look, the thing as well is it's hard to fight someone like Holland because of the stuff that he does. He breaks so many rules. You know what I mean? And like it's really, really hard to fight someone like that. Hanoi trip Acosta would be good next for Vittoria. I agree. Ewan Ferguson, I think DC would be a good coach for Holland for no other reason that they both talk some great nonsense. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's a coaching problem, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a coaching problem. He might switch camps and all of a sudden start doing things different, but it's not because his coaches were bad. It's because he might have finally said, yeah, fuck, I've got to do it. A lot of the times that's what it is. When you see the guys change camps and all that shit, like the new coaches aren't telling you something amazing unless your coaches were absolutely shit, which is not the case. Not at that level. The coaches aren't. There's not. It's not like that. But you'll start listening because you have to change, but you didn't want to admit that you had to change. You were the one that had to change. It's not like his coaches now. You think Travis Lutter doesn't look at that and understand everything that anyone of you can see? Of course. Um, Holland already got exposed, but Vittori can't do those takedowns against Rob Rizzi or Costa for that matter. Vittori versus, I think Vittori or Costa would have to be the thing. Vittori versus Costa is a scrap I'd love to see. That will give Vittori cannon. Yeah. I think there's a whole bunch of guys there. Nothing really, in my opinion, got answered for me with that Vittori and Holland fight. Nothing really. I think a lot of Vittori got shown when he fought. Oh my god, Jack Hermanson. That was a real eye opener as to what Vittori is capable of. I'd like to see him, against the Cannonier, against Costa, and see what he does. That will give us a really good understanding. Unfortunately, with Holland, that's I'd like to see Holland fix that, fix what he's doing there. It's frustrating to watch that, a guy that talented. But guys, join us next week. We'll be doing the Jake Paul and the Robin Gastelum fight. So we're doing the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren and the Rob versus Gastelum fight. Vittori just said he wants Adesanya next, and good for him. He should say that. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. I will catch you guys very, very, very soon. Thank you so much, guys. Look after yourselves and take care. Thank you so much.